Hello, if you can hear me, please say green dragon. Or is that supposed to be the yellow dragon? We never did see that enemy, did we? Also, we've never seen those mages, the mind flayers. We haven't seen those at all. I'm probably going to need to go back and look at some enemies that I missed, huh? Now that I think about it. Rainbow dragon? I guess that is kind of rainbowy. A lot of these Amano arts are pretty wacky. Alright, today, oh crap, today's day 31, right? Day 31, Final Fantasy IV Translation Comparison. We're getting real close to the end now. Let's see where we are. We are going to do the Giant of Babil today. Hopefully we can get through it all. There's a lot that goes on there, but it should be okay. And then, if there's time, then I want to do what I have listed here as final loose ends. And that is, like, go around, check some more stuff around the world. Some little things have changed here and there that you might not have realized. And I forgot about it too, so I guess we'll do that. And then if there's probably next week we'll do the Lunar Core, and that might take like 2 days. Then there's the final battle and then the ending. So probably next week the stream series will end. It'll be sad, but I'll probably just come back and play some more FF4, like more Japanese ROM hacks or something or other. Who knows? I'm having fun doing these streams, and I kind of want to keep going with it. At the very least, I want to keep doing like programming stuff and translation stuff. All right, let's see. We got a couple things today for the intro, but nothing too much. All right, first, yesterday I brought this up. The weird controller is like the one-handed RPG controller for Super Famicom. I always wanted to try this out when I read about it in Nintendo Power back in the 90s. And a couple years ago I bought one, but I never really like used it. So today my goal was I was going to use this to go through the Tower of Babel like this. Make a weird new memory of this. But I pulled it out of my closet and plugged it in, and it works and everything, but boy, this controller is not a good controller. Definitely not something I should be doing at this like important part of the game that's difficult. First, it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I guess I have pretty big hands though. It's like real teeny. It feels almost like in my hands it felt like a Tamagotchi, and it was hard to like get my hand positioned on stuff. And the A and B buttons and X and Y are underneath. And those front buttons that you see here is the R button, and then the L button is, I don't know. The whole thing is just really weird. I don't know. I need to find how it was meant to be used or something. All right. The next thing is, well, I've been talking about many of my memories about Final Fantasy 2, 4 throughout the stream series. And some of them have been good. Some of them have been kind of like bittersweet. And then we're going to a place in the game now that I associate kind of with a bad memory. I won't go too deep into it because I've already done that. But I did talk about it before, many years ago, on a previous Pomato CX stream back in 2014, I think. Poe and I were sick that day, so we decided to stream. And we streamed games that we played when we were sick, when we were kids. And this is part 3 on the screen right now. Pomato CX Sick Day Games. This was part 3 of the video. You can find it on my YouTube. But basically, I talk about how when I got to this part in Final Fantasy IV, the Tower or the Giant of Babil, I was sick that day, so I was playing there. And then, let's see, how do I put this? Basically, it involved one of my dogs killing one of my goats, and there's lots of just blood and crying and stuff, and like trying to rush animals to the veterinarian and back and stuff like that, and then having to put animals down. It was all pretty rough. But I have other memories of this too, of this section of the game. And that's kind of why I also wanted to make more memories with this weird controller, but I'm like, no, there's no way I'm doing that. But I'll bring it up when we get to it. I have other memories of this section of the game, but we'll get to that later. I wanted to point out that, like, when I mentioned it previously in the streams that like the music that you listen to, the movies that you watch, the games that you play, they kind of paint the corridors of your life. So different points in your life will have like different games or music or movies or stuff, kind of like painting those memories. So Like, I don't really have like bad traumatic memories of this part of the game. Instead, this is like the painting that I see when I think about this point in my life. It's kind of interesting. And now that I look back, it's I don't know. It was tough at the time, but when I look back, it's just kind of like I have a scar on like on my hand, and I can rub my hand over that scar, and it doesn't hurt or anything, but it's still there. So still just a part of me. And that's how this is too. So I guess like if you have hard times in your life, just think of it as like that. Eventually, it'll be like a little scar. It'll still be there, but it won't be defining. All right. I have the pronoun list here for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe we'll come back to this in a second. I left this here for a reason yesterday. Okay. Let's get to the game for now. Oops, I forgot to turn on the double music. Oops. All right. So as I recall, we need to do a save state here. Let's do the save state. Load save state. Hooray. Okay, good. Now make sure the controller works. I'm currently using the proper controller. It would be too weird to do that fancy controller at this point in the game. But I would like to try using that controller for other things. I actually have like a whole bunch of weird Famicom and Super Famicom controllers. And I want to try them out eventually in some way. In weird, unexpected ways. Alright. So we're inside the Giant of Babil now. There's no like room name for this part, but let's continue. This part of the game is kind of like all the stuff you've learned, you have to use it all now. Okay, we got some new enemies. We're fighting some robots. Guess what? There's robots in this game. And then there are another like surveillance eye machine. All right. The machine, the robot looking guy is called the Kikai He. That means machine and soldier. Kikai He. So it's a machine soldier. It's kind of hard for me to say fast. Machine soldier, machine soldier, machine soldier. Yeah, I'm going to mess that up if I do that. Super NES, that just becomes machine. That's kind of weak. J2E, it becomes Mach soldier, Mac soldier. I guess machine is what that should be, but it's kind of harder to see it that way. And then solder instead of soldier. It's like Mac solder, solder. And then a naming way goes with machine also. You could just do like mech soldier or something like that, right? Mech. Hey is like a soldier or a troop or something like that. Is it in here? Soldier, rank and file, army, troops, warfare, strategy. That could be improved probably. Okay. And then the other enemy is, crap. It's called in Japanese, the Sacha, the searcher. It's the English word searcher. Did that get changed in easy type? It did. It became the Kanshi Sochi, so the surveillance mechanism or surveillance device, right? Kanshi. Observation, guarding, inspection, surveillance, and Sochi is like a device, apparatus, equipment. Okay, so Super NES kept it with the original, kept it with a searcher. J2E goes with searcher, and naming way goes with searcher. It's kind of cool to see that happening. Even their HPs are the same, although the experience went up for Super NES. And Japanese FAQs and walkthroughs and stuff, they talk about how if you want to get the alarm items to go for the pink tails, just steal them from these guys. And then if you're able to, I don't remember if you're able to do a item duplication on it somehow. You might be able to. So these are not weak to anything, and those aren't weak to anything specifically. While I'm here, I'm going to put on the Avenger. The Marvel's Avenger. Okay. Let's try stealing from that searcher. Maybe we can get it. Too slow on everyone. We stole an alarm, everyone. We did it. Okay, let's do Leviathan here. haven't been to this part of the game in so long, and I'm not used to using Fusoya at all. Oh, do we have Bahamut? We should. I already forget. Rosa leveled up, and she learned Arezu. And that is like Life 2 in Super NES, Life 2 in J2E, and Arise in Naming Way. And then we got lightning arrows. Okay. A couple things to look at here. First, let's look at the alarm. I don't think we have those yet. It says, Mamono o yobi yosete shimaimasu. So it says it in a bad way. It's saying it's like a negative thing. It will summon, it will call a monster to you. It will call monsters to you as if it was a negative thing. That would be pretty weird to see that back in the day. If I saw this, like, why would you want this? But it's good if you're trying to get specific enemy groups. Right. Super NES, that's dummied out, so it became dummy, and description became D. And then in easy type, it got dummied out too. But even here, the description got written out. And the interesting thing is, a lot of times the description we've seen has remained intact. But here, the description gets removed, and Japanese word testo, which is the English word test, is there instead. So something weird is happening here. I don't know what the deal was there. Maybe this is another important piece of the puzzle. How does J2E, or not J2, how does Super NES and Easy Type, how do they compare when they start developing and stuff like that? You could probably use that as a good point for your data. Okay. Super NES dummy in D. J2E, alarm, summons a monster to fight. In naming way, siren, alarm that calls monsters. Summons makes it seem like now you can summon monsters yourself. You're a summoner. You're a summoner, Harry. Alright, now let's look at Bahamut. Bahamuto. It becomes Baham in Super NES, Bahamut in J2E. I guess they must have used little squishy tiles here. So Bahamut's cast time is the same as Leviathan's. Alright, then used to be Baham in Super NES, or J2E, and then Baham in the. I forgot I got Figot there. I had to put Bio here. And Blizzard, I didn't realize I had Blizzard. Blizzaga there. Alright, she's getting her stuff filled up there. Was Rosa, did she learn a raise? Okay, you got Arezu. In Japanese, this is a Life 2 spell. This is the one that brings everyone back to full HP, right? Or I mean, just one person to full HP. In easy type, that became Reizu Ni, or Tsu, I'm not sure which one, probably Ni. It means raise 2. And so Super NES Life 2, J2E Life 2, used to say Arise. Then they went with Life 2, I don't know why. And naming way goes with Arise. Reflect stuff was pretty important recently. Anything else that's important? Haste was kind of good. Silence has been good. Oh, here's the best cure spell. I need to put that over there. Alright. Let's continue. Then we're going to step back in here to see if there's a name to that place. Okay, yeah, okay. Kyojin no Kuchi. So this is the giant's mouth. Mouth of the giant. So we went in through the mouth. I didn't realize that. I should have just kept his mouth shut. The flies wouldn't have got in. Super NES goes just with mouth. J2E, giant's mouth, and naming way, giant's mouth. Alright. Go back down. These like stairs are so weird. They're like funnel panels. Right. We went down one funnel. Now we are in the Kyojin no Kubi. So that's the giant's neck. Or I don't know if a throat necessarily, but Kubi is like the neck or the neck area. Kubi can also mean like everything from the neck up. So like a decapitated head is a kubi sometimes. Kubi is an interesting word. A lot of these words are really interesting, and when I've been studying Choctaw, I've been noticing like faint similarities and parallels in these words. And so these body part words are really interesting to me. Kubi. What does it say on here for kubi? Neck, head, unemployed person. Yeah, when you say you're fired, you say you're kubi. I'm gonna kubi you. And so then you're fired. So neck, giant's neck, and giant's throat. Nodal would be the better word for throat, maybe. But I guess we're in the neck. Right. Is there any special like enemies and specific body parts? Do you guys know? Alright, we went down another funnel. We're now in the Kyojin no Mune. And Mune can mean like your chest area. It can also mean breast. In the same way that breast can mean chest also. It can mean your boobies or it can mean your chest. Mune. So we're in the chest area or the boobies, I'm not sure. Super NES chest. J2E giant's chest. And naming way giant's chest. Mune. What does Mune show up on here? Breast or chest? We're walking through this difficult dungeon. Oh, I didn't heal anyone. Oh, crap. Alright. If we only had that axe, if we had that giant axe. Alright, we're fighting what is called a Kyojin Hei. Kyojin is a giant. It's also what they call the Titans on Attack on Titan. They're called the Kyojin, which just means like gigantic person. Anyway, Kyojin Hei means like giant soldier. So a soldier that is a giant or a giant race. What does that become an easy type? It stays the same. They drop the thing they're weak against, the ogre killers. Maybe I'll try to steal one. I think we threw ours away. Okay, the Super NES, this becomes Mac Giant. I guess that's supposed to mean like machine giant, but we're inside the giant already. That's so weird. Or it's Macintosh, or maybe like Macaulay Culkin. All right, J2E, giant soldier. Okay, they got that in there. And then naming way goes with mech giant. So like, I guess mechanical giant. This hay in here is soldier again. Soldier, rank and file, army troops. It's like the most basic thing in a fighting group, a hay. Okay. All kind of different in all their different ways. There's technically nothing about machines in this technically. But I mean, we can look at it. We can kind of see it as mechanical looking. All right. I'm gonna try to steal from it. Oh my gosh. You stole a cottage. No. Where was you storing that? Can I continue to steal? After I've stolen something, can I continue to steal? Alright, we did Bahamut on there. I didn't do the text on there, but we'll look at that next time. But Bahamut is really good. Cecil leveled up. Edge leveled up. Alright, we got our high potions. I'm back in stock. Okay there. What do I have? Do I have the ogre killer? I probably don't. Nope. Chest. And in this chest is a shuriken. That's the ninja stars. We've looked at those already. They're kind of pointless to me now that I have like a million Excaliburs. I got like 245 plus 10, 248 Excaliburs, looks like. very complicated looking place. This probably looks a little bit different in the easy type and or Super NES. Nageru. I'm gonna throw another Excalibur. Should take him out pretty easy. Not good enough. Man, that Avenger is pretty good. I guess the whole deal is with the Avenger sword or just Berserk. Does it like just make the ATB? It just kind of like breaks the idea of the ATB. Because I never liked the idea of losing control of Cecil and such when he's like such a an important character. But boy, that Avenger is pretty good on him. It would be neat if Berserk would let you do spells instead of just attack. Like the way that Confuse works. So I wonder if searchers, if they cause stuff to appear, if they see you. I should try that out. See what enemies they summon. So there's a magic focus kind of Berserk in FF8. Barely remember the end of 8, except it goes crazy. That last castle, I kind of got myself stuck there and I had to restart the game over. And then when I restarted the game, I kind of broke the system because I knew how it worked. Alright, high potion in this box. Who is stocking this? Like, where was this Giant of Babil? Where was it stored? It said it was brought down to Earth via the dimensional elevator. So where was it before? An ether. I hear a lot of stories about Final Fantasy III for Famicom having a crazy final dungeon. For me, 8 is that. Okay, we've got 2 new enemies. Let's look at these enemies. Okay. The first enemy looks like weird alien ray guns. Not the President Reagan, but rays, like guns that shoot rays at you. Except they're kind of organic looking too in a weird way, I'm not really sure. Anyway, in Japanese they're called Kikaiho, so machine cannon. Machine gun. Not I guess it could be machine gun, but it's more like a cannon of some sort. Kikaiho. Like machine over here. I guess that could mean like the strange kind of Kikai. And ho is like a gun or a cannon or artillery. Alright. It became Beamer in Super NES because they just do beams at you. And J2E, Mac, cannon. I guess like machine cannon. I guess they're trying to fit that in there. And then naming way went with Beamer. Beamers have a lot less HP than their Japanese equivalents. Like almost half. Let's see. Easy type, no change on there. In the name. Okay, the next enemy is another centaur knight looking guy. His name is Tekihe. I'm not really sure what this would be. Off the top of my head. Tekihe. I'm looking at the dictionary thing in here, but none of them are really like popping up as good for me. I guess they're just like enemy machine soldier is what that would become. Could be something with iron in there too, possibly. And then in the easy type, this becomes Tetsukihe. This makes it feel more like it's an iron, like an iron knight, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna look that up later. That's a very strange name. Teki. Hey. Oh, my key looks like a ma. That's not good. And then Tetsuki. Hey. Alright. So Super NES calls that just Horseman. J2E goes with Iron Soldier, I guess Soldier. Or Iron Soldering. And Naming Way goes with Horseman. It's so strange. I'll look that up later. Alright. Throwing an Excalibur is probably unnecessary. We're getting beamed by the beamers. For fun, I want to do an Asura here, if I can. Yeah, I can. I want to see what it says. Okay, we're doing the Asura, and the text above, the Asura summon, and the text above says Asura. In Super NES, it says Asura. J2E says Ashura, which is follows that pattern that we've seen J2E doing, changing Asura to Ashura. And Naming Way goes with Asura. Usually there's a text here, right? It's like the Queen's Wrath or something like that. But here, I don't know what to expect. And then so when you do Asura, you get like one of 4 random like things that can happen, I think, right? Is it 4? Yeah, it's strange that none of these enemies seem to be weak against lightning, despite being very machiney. Maybe moon machines are better. They don't use lightning. They're not weak to lightning. So the Asura does either Kiraga, Protect, or Raise on everything. Really? I thought I got to do Wall one time. I got to do Reflect all one time. Maybe it's just crazy though. Over here, I believe this is a trap chest. Trap? Am I saying that right in English? My English is failing me today. Oh, we found an alarm. So we can get 2 of them. Oh. Darn it. Like, I want to get them, like, I want to get these, like, unstacked, if I could. And then you can possibly do some item duplication tricks later. I guess before the stream series is over, I want to do an item... Uh-oh. Oh, crap. So that time, definitely, that was the emulator just closed on me. Gotta bring the emulator back. I don't know why that happened. Sorry, everyone. We have to kind of do some stuff again. No, we don't. But we need to reset the score. Do you guys remember the score? I don't think I even changed the score yet, right? I don't think I changed the score at all. So let me know if I did, and then I'll reset it. That's crazy. I can't trust my emulator sometimes. Oh no, so here, I can just do that. No, I can't. I can't save it. I have to keep it separated. Well, first let's see if I can crash my own emulator again. Nice to stick on this for a while. Yeah, I'm glad I save stated right before that chest. I thought I had to redo everything. That was SMRT of me. Alright. Oh, now I want to see if I can get that monster to cause something, but probably I need to make these guys go away. So that move that I just did, the Seishin-ha, like the mental wave, doesn't exist in Super NES, so it just says like D, or it's like dummied out. Waiting for Cecil to get his next attack in, and then I'm gonna have Rydia. Oh no, he attacked the wrong one. Don't attack. Come on, Rosa, get him first. Yes, we got an alarm. Oh, I just brought this guy. I brought the horse guy. I brought Iron Horse. Tekihe. So it's called Bless the Seishinha. Rydia leveled up. She learned Sandaga. Has Lit 3 in Super NES, Bolt 3 in J2E, and Thundaga in Naming. Right now I was just kind of considering maybe I'll play, after the stream series ends, I'll play that Final Fantasy C2 hack, and I'll put on like the translation stuff on the side, and I'll just continue to do what I'm doing here. So we can see how I translated stuff and how I pulled stuff from the FF2 GBA script for that also. We could end up looking at that too. Could be worth it. Alright, we have the Yoichi no Ya. Yoichi, as we learned, was a legendary Japanese archer. So we have some of his arrows here. Also, I looked it up, and sometimes there's an item for Edge called Kotetsu for his swords. I wasn't sure what it was, Kotetsu was, but it turns out it's like the name of a famous swordsmith from about 200 years ago. Kotetsu. We're in the next section. Kyoji no Hara. Why does that not show up there? Oh, it's because I pressed a button. Kyoji no Hara. So we're in the next section of the Giant of Babil. Hara is like stomach or belly. Hara, does it show up on here? Abdomen, belly, stomach. Yeah. So we're now kind of like in his abdomen. Super NES goes with stomach. Again, it takes out the word giant. J2E says giant stomach, and Naming Way says giant stomach. So technically, there is a word for stomach, like the actual organ, but we're not in the organ necessarily. We're just like in that section of the body. So belly or abdomen might be a little better, but belly would be kind of weird to put here, right? Giant's belly. So we're not in its gastric acid sac or anything. Got back attacked by some beamers and an iron horse guy. Also, I'm considering whether or not I should try to go for the rare items like the pink tail and the adamant armor. Should I go for that stuff? Or should I use just cheats to get that stuff? Or if I wanted to be crazy, I could just do a level 99 run now. Just get everyone to level 99. Save my sanity. I really like the good healing spell animations, both of them. They're really, like, Gear 3 and Gear 4 are both really good looking. You can feel the healing from that animation. That's one thing I kind of don't like about some of the modern versions of this game, is they use particle effects and stuff like that. Kind of takes away from the hand-drawn sprites and the weird stuff they would do for that. They got their good places though. Alright, so Rydia has died. The story is now over. I'm gonna waste an elixir on her. Nah, that was my way of bringing her back. In a happy way. Alright. I forget which way is the right way to go here. Okay, we'll go over there. This might be the Oh, is this the one that does like a super mega nuke on you or something weird? That's something really weird. Yes, I got it. Okay. This is in this chest is a silver apple, and I wanted these. I have another silver apple, but I gave it to the chocobo, the big chocobo, because I want them to be unstacked right now. I think. I forget how I take this trick from here now, but my goal is to duplicate the silver apple, and then just get Rydia to like 9999 HP. That's kind of like the dream, right? Everyone who's played this game. Get Kain to like 999 MP also. You could do that with a Soma drops. I have one of those somewhere. Alright. So anyway, the silver apples, we've seen them before, but they add 50 to your max HP. Yeah, so we have a silver one here, we have a gold one here. And then we have a Soma drop, which adds to your max MP. Oh, we just hit 80. You guys saw it. We just hit 80 hours.
I miss you.
We might beat this game before we hit 99. Yeah, these chests were updated for Super NES and possibly Easy Type so that they'll look better. Also, these overhangs, they were removed for Super NES and Easy Type. Alright, we're fighting some beamers and Iron Horse guy. Okay, let's just do a Bahamut in this one. I bet the Lunarians never expected Bahamuts to show up inside here. Uh-oh, we got raided. Uh-oh, I'm sorry everyone. This is the tower. This is the Giant of Babil. Raiding is going to get you 9999 HP damage. All right. So as I don't need that tent. I got so many cottages. So we're going to come up to multiple bosses coming up. Oh, we got a second Soma drop. Crap. Okay, I guess that's fine. I'll find a way to split them somehow, or I'll just use cheat codes. I'll make us some cheat codes. So we're fighting, like, we have to refight the 4 elemental fiends coming up. And then we have to fight the CPU stuff. So there's some tough fights coming up. But I know that the 4 elemental fiends fight is very glitchy in some way. And I see like Japanese videos talking about how to manipulate it and do cool tricks with it. I don't have the know-how right now to do that though. So we won't do that this time. Come on, Rosa, you gotta heal everyone. Oh, Cecil can't block that kind of stuff, right? Beams. I'm just waiting for Bahamut at this point. Bahamuto. Come on, Rydia. I want to do her chanting spell and then have things happen in real life. That'd be pretty fun feeling. Okay, we took out all those enemies. There was 5 enemies. That's a lot. Right. And we got to get out of this belly of the giant. Where are we going? Are we going up or down? I can't tell. All right. Now we are in this room called the Kyojin Naibu no Tsuro. This is the giant inside passageway, like inner passageway. We're basically deep inside of it now. We're in the Naibu when we're in a passageway. It's not a body part in this time. Do I need to heal anyone up? Okay. We're good. MP wise. Okay. We're now in a passageway. Just keep doing this stuff, I guess. I'm going to do something different with Rydia this time. Okay. Oh yeah, it's Easter coming up this week, right? No wonder I've been eating a lot of jelly beans. There's been like a lot of jelly bean sales. I want to see if this will summon a different monster on this course, this room. If I can get it to do that, that would be nice. Alright, Rosa, bash it. What do we got? Ooh, yes, we got a scary looking dragon. Okay, the dragon is left all alone. Kikai Ryu. Kikai is machine and Ryu is dragon. Like if you know Street Fighter, Ryu, that's his name. Ryu, and then Shoryuken, that's the dragon rising punch or whatever, that's that Ryu. And so machine dragon. That stay the same in easy type. They're changing what you can get though. Kamigami no Ikari. Right. Super NES, this becomes D-Machine. So I guess Dragon Machine is what they're going for. Kind of reminds me at the beginning of the game when the Mist Dragon is called like D-Mist. Something like that, right? You're not sure what it really is. D-Machine. J2E. Mac Dragon. I guess Machine Dragon. Mush Dragon. It's kind of weird to like abbreviate it with Mac like that. It's weird. It just doesn't really hit right. If it was like Mech Dragon, that would work better, right? That's an interesting thing about English words, I guess. I didn't realize before. And then naming way, Mech D. Again, that reminds me a lot of that Lisa Simpson's joke. Like, is it Lisa S or L Simpson? Oh shoot, are the weak do anything? No. Let's try an Odin. Uh-oh. That's kind of strong. So you don't really see the machine dragons too long in this game. It's just this place, right? You don't really see them in, I'll just throw an Excalibur at you. You deserve an Excalibur. Come on, Edge. Oh, it didn't even finish him. What's your HP again? What's your HP? Right. $18,000? Dang. I took this machine for light. I took it lightly. Well, another person dead. Alright, I don't have Holy or anything right now. That's too bad. Alright, we're just going to do a Bahamut on this. I've been kind of toying with it. But boy, that Mega Flare comes out fast. Oh yeah, while we're here. So, when you use the Bahamut summon, it doesn't say Bahamut in Japanese. It says Mega Flare. But in Super NES, it just says Bahamut. And in J2E, it says M Flare. And the naming way fits in Mega Flare. This M would be cool if that was Medio. Right. My dragon is bigger than yours. Alright. It's like basically we just did Pokemon. Whoa, that experience though, 20,934. That's the most we've ever gotten in one battle, I think. Rosa has leveled up. Has not learned Holy though. Yeah, what are our levels right now? Okay, Rydia is at level 45, Cecil is at level 47 but dead. Rosa is at level 46, Edge is at 45, and Fusoya I don't care much about is at 51. I don't care much because he's going to be gone soon. I'm gonna splurge. We're fighting like mankind's Destructor I'm gonna give Rosa, or I'm gonna Ninja an elixir, Cecil can have an elixir, Rydia can have an elixir, everyone, even you, Moon Guy. Alright, we just had an elixir party. That's the closest we have to an Omega elixir, I guess, right? Alright, 2 beamers and the searcher. Let me try to steal another alarm while I'm here. Maybe we'll use those later. And I'll just have, oh, we did steal an alarm, alright. It seemed pretty easy to steal. And then we got Rydia on Bahamut duty. Before we go, we need to have, before he goes, we need to have, what's his head do, Medio. Mega Flare. Just now imagine, you know how they made that really bad Dragon Ball Evolution movie, the live-action Dragon Ball movie? If they tried to do that with Final Fantasy IV, I could see them having these summons appear in real life and stuff. And that would be bad. I think we're okay health-wise. Alright, well this is the one that has a fight, so let me pause here and save state. Okay, here we go. This one is an unusual enemy, right? Monster in this box. Okay, this enemy looks like a searcher. What is called a Lasto Amu. So last arm, I guess. An arm? Well, I mean, it's an eyeball-looking machine, so it's clearly not an arm. But I think arm in this case probably means like a weapon. And they call it, yeah, they call it the Saishu Heiki, so the final weapon. Or Saishu can sometimes mean ultimate. Saishu, yeah, Saishu Heiki in this dictionary pulls up the ultimate weapon. I guess like the last one that you'll ever use, or the last one that's ever needed, is the idea. It's the final weapon, the ultimate weapon. Okay, and then just put that into like English words, and then put that into katakana. So last arm is like ultimate weapon. Super NES, this becomes last arm. J2E, last arm. In naming way, last arm. Is it clear without me explaining to you guys that this is supposed to be like the ultimate weapon? Or is it weirdly an arm? Let me know. It seems everyone seems to be okay with it being last arm. Alright. So this is kind of like Ultima in a way, like what it does at the end. It's doing a targeting on us. We stole an alarm from it. Nice. Do I have a bestiary on this guy? Do I have any? I threw them away like a dummy. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't die here. When I kill it, it super explodes, right? That's kind of what I see. Okay, Denjiba. Denjiba is like a magnetic field, or electric field maybe? Like electromagnetic field. Denjiba is what that says over there. It's kind of a long word in English, but it's just 3 characters in Japanese. That's kind of how it tends to be. It's just 4 characters if you write it in kana there, Denjiba. We could make that EM field maybe. Alright. Super NES, that becomes magnet. So it's not electromagnetic field anymore, it's just a magnet. J2E, elec wall. I don't know why a wall is in there. And naming way goes with magnet. Probably if I did this, I'd do EM field. We're doing a targeting. I didn't see what that was again. Okay, we killed it. But it didn't do the thing. I want to see what it does. Right. How do I make it do its ultimate thing? I know it does like a special attack. Oh, like so stop. So it does a stop on you. Like it does something weird. Okay. The stop comes off eventually, I assume. And we're targeting an edge here. Okay, doing Dispel on stop does not break the stop. It's weird, I could have still chosen something there. Rosa's about to get. So the question here is, how do I get this last arm enemy to do its special thing? Really? I could swear it does like the special super attack. Maybe it's a different one. So it just keeps doing the stop thing on us. This is a strange fight. Hopefully I have not soft locked myself. This Cecil thing is kind of weird. Damage to take it into 1000 HP or less, so another one of those? Okay. Well, it's gonna be a little hard now. How long does this stop last? Yeah, right now I have no control over anyone. So it'll probably last a while. But it keeps reapplying it to random people too, so this is pretty bad. I mean, this is a pretty good way for like Golbez or Zemus to stop us. Just have a bunch of these guys. Don't stick them in the box. Yeah, if this keeps going, I'm gonna do a save state load. This is kind of crazy. It keeps going for him too. Okay, we got Rosa back. I don't know how to do a strong attack on them, though. Guess I'll just have her keep bashing until he gets under that number. This is a very weird fight. Come on, guy, do your happy bye-bye technique. Do I have anything that can do something good? Alright, I guess not. Don't get Rosa. Okay, good. Just don't want Rosa to get hit now. So magnet is reflectable. That's pretty neat. We're slowly taking this monster out with Rosa's attack from the back row. Sakaguchi didn't think this was gonna happen. Okay, still doing okay. Rosa's not affected as badly. Rosa's just gonna take this whole thing through. Okay, here we go. Kaku Bakuhatsu is about what is about to happen. Kaku Bakuhatsu is a nuclear explosion. That Kaku is like, yeah, nuclear explosion. That Kaku is for like nuclear stuff. It's like the core, like nuclear core. So it's a nuclear explosion. This becomes a Super NES fission. J2E, nuke. It makes me think of the nuke spell in Super NES though, but that's fine. Naming away with fission. Honestly, I would go with nuclear explosion. However you can make that work, I would try to go for that. Just fission by itself is kind of, it's not wrong, but it's weird. I really like the way it looks though, it's so scary looking. So my guess is that takes out however much HP it had, right? So 972. Yeah, I could just say nuclear or something like that. Because that was a pretty cool explosion. They didn't even have to put that in there, that extra stuff. So yes, it's the remaining HP. Okay, whew. Alright. 338 gil. That thing was cheaply made. And then 1740 experience. From that, we gained an elixir. I guess one of the people popped out an elixir after I gave it to them. I'll give that elixir to Rosa. She was the MVP. Good job. You did a good job, Rosa.
Excellent.
Alright. Now we can continue. Yeah, there's like gears and stuff in here, in addition to like the electronic, mechanical looking stuff. Kind of like that. Alright, 2 beamers and a searcher. Okay, one's gonna throw... Where's that shuriken? And we'll just get Rydia to do her thing. Bahamut is probably so regretting joining our party. We call him every minute. Probably just so sick of our crap. That'd be kind of interesting if there's a cooldown on that kind of stuff. But it would have to be done right, otherwise it would just be annoying. A cooldown on your summons. Edge leveled up. There's just a save spot over here, so we can just go over there and do a cottage if necessary. Alright, we have 3 enemies that we've seen before. It's all just going to be a big ol' hassle. But we'll fight them. I remember seeing that nuclear explosion most of the times I've played this game. But I bet if you did like heavy damage, you're probably gonna miss that attack. I wonder what other attacks like that I have missed. Rubicante has one. Luckily we saw that. I managed to get that to happen. Fusoya leveled up. Fusoya leveled up. Cecil leveled up. The Lunarians have leveled up. He's only half Lunarian, but that's okay. We're now at a save spot. I think this is the only save spot, right? Okay, let me do a proper save in here. Right, we finally have a save, a proper save. Do a save state here. Right. And then I could swear there was like another chest or something, but maybe I'm just thinking of something else. Alright. Okay. We're going from the passageway inside the giant to the Kyojin Naibu Fukinuke. So Fukinuke, so we're inside the giant's innards, or inside the giant. Fukinuke is an atrium, a well in the building, a vault, a blow-by, blowout, a drafty or a drafty. Those drafties sound very British. But it's something to do with like stuff blowing through. I don't really know what any of those things mean. An atrium, like I don't really know technically what an atrium is compared to other things. But it just seems to be like a really big empty area with a lot of ventilation maybe. Okay, Super NES, the switch just becomes lung. Technically lung isn't in there. J2E, inside the giant. So whatever this Fukinuke means, they didn't include it in J2E. And the naming way just says giant's lung. So we're kind of applying new things here. Lung and lungs isn't technically in there. Are there any dictionaries for anatomy? Well, it would be Heizo or just high for lung in here. An atrium is usually a hall with an open ceiling. I'll look that stuff up later, but now we have to walk forward. Walking forward, you can tell something is going to happen. And I just remember there's a lot of Japanese like walkthroughs and FAQs and videos about this section here and how you can kind of skip it or do something with this, something weird here. Clearly we're going to get attacked here. So before I do that, I do want to take my quick bathroom break and then we'll begin the boss rush here, followed by the CPU battle. Okay, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. Alright, time for fun. Those 4 fiends that we all defeated, they're back. Alright. The sky darkens, even though we're inside. And in front of us appears Rubicante. He says, Machikane tazo. We've been waiting. Like we've been waiting a long time. It's kind of like a negative vibe to it. We've been waiting impatiently, as it says here. Yeah, it kind of has like a negative vibe to it. And then Super NES, that becomes you're late. I'll say it's fine. J2E, you kept us waiting. Okay, I'll say that's fine too. You're late is a little weird, but I'll say that's still fine. Okay, naming way, you've come at last. The tone on this is a little strange. I'll mark that up. It's like a complaint, a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to explain it. Rubicante is okay. Then Valvalis, Barbaricha says, Kyojin wa tomaranu. The giant will not stop. In sort of a non-standard way, slightly with that new in there. Super NES, the giant won't stop. J2E, the giant will not stop. And then naming way, you can't stop the Giant of Babil, period. It changes things around. I won't mark off, but it could be better. Then the turtle guy, Kainazo, says Kukaka. He's doing his laugh again that we saw back at the Baron Castle like 100 years ago. He has this peculiar laugh, Kukaka. Kind of sounds like that sound when Jason Voorhees is hunting you. Okay, Kukaka, omae tachi wa. And he's doing his laugh, and it says, you guys are, and then it's an incomplete sentence. Likely it's going to be continued by the next person who speaks. So just in case, because we've learned how this works, I have to paste this into chat. You guys can chew on that text. Super NES says you ... So the laugh is gone. I would have liked the laugh in there. As I recall, a lot of the laughter was removed earlier in the game too for Super NES. J2E becomes generic laughter. Ha ha ha. You ... Okay. Naming way also goes kind of with generic laughter. Ha 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 ... Now's the time. ... I guess we'll see how this plays out. Then Scarmiglione shows up. We're surrounded by the 4 fiends now. Scarmiglione finishes the sentence by saying, Koko de shikabane to naru. And so what this means is, Kukaka, you people will become corpses here. So this part means become corpses here, will become corpses. Shikabane is a fancy way for corpse. Ooh, that one kanji, I don't think I've really ever seen that kanji by itself. But the second kanji there, with death in it, that's the standard one I see. Okay, you will become corpses here, is what all that says. Super NES will be laid to rest here. I like the idea of you're going to become corpses here. Like that's a pretty cool phrase. Will be laid to rest here. I won't mark this off because they're clearly not going to say that in Super NES times, but it could be better. J2E, you will all die here. Man, if you say corpses, it's so much cooler. This is generic. Naming way. Now's the time for you all to die. That's pretty generic too. Out of all of these, naming way is the only one that still receives updates. So hopefully the corpse will show up in here. I'm gonna say these are all fine, but it's cooler in Japanese. The sky undarkens. And then Cecil looks forward. Right. Cecil says, Shiten no, the 4 fiends, the four heavenly kings, is what he says. Super NES, Four Fiends. The word "the" in there would have been better. Okay, J2E, the Four Emperors. Alright. In the naming way, the Four Fiends. So they added the word "the" in there. Uh-oh. Here we can see in J2E where they didn't originally know the Dante's Inferno references. We can see how in the old patch they didn't know, and then for the newer patch they were like, oh, we better change those. We can see these all happening here. I guess Scarmiglione was always known for some reason. Alright. Next line. Scarmiglione says, okay, so all three of these people, Scarmiglione, followed by Kainazzo, followed by Barbaricia, they all say one single line, one single sentence together, but they're kind of like, one says the first part, one says the second part, one says the third part. Is there a fourth part coming? Not yet. Okay, so Scarmiglione says, Zemusu sama yori. And then Kainazzo says, Sazukata inochi de. And Barbaricia says, Omae tachi o korosu. So, if we make that all into one sentence and then translate it, that full sentence becomes, we will kill you all with the life bestowed upon us from Master Zemus. And so to make this work, because the grammar has to get flipped around in Japanese to English translation, the way this flows has to get switched around a little bit. So one person will have to say one thing, and the other person will have to say a separate thing. It's hard to explain it, but because of how grammar works in English, this layout won't work exactly the same. Right. So let's see how the different translations handle this weird translation. This is a puzzle, I would say. This would be like a translation puzzle. It'd be fun to see how different applicants on the translation test would handle this. All right. Super NES. Mylon says, Master Zemus. And then Kainazzo says, breathe life back into us all. The idea of breathing life back, and this is like a very common just phrase in Japanese. When you revive someone, you breathe life back into them, kind of. So that's kind of feel a bit of Japanese in there, but it's not wrong either. Right. And then Valvola says to defeat you. Well, first the word kill is changed to defeat. I'll mark that off. Master Zemus, so Zemus Sama Yordi, breathe life back into us all. With this life bestowed from Master Zemus. So it's kind of neat how they've kind of done an interesting solution to this translation puzzle here. I like it. Give them this. J2E. Scarmiglione says Lord Zemus, and then on a completely new text box, they're changing the formatting for some reason, gave us new life. To kill you. So not necessarily, it's just saying now that he's brought us back to life, we're going to kill you with this life, but not necessarily that he brought them back to life just to kill Cecil. But we'll say it's fine. Naming way. Cecil says, the Four Fiends. Scarmiglione says, indeed. That indeed is weird, so I'll mark off there. Naming way continues with Kainazzo saying, Master Zemus gifted us with life. And Barbaricia says, to kill you. Alright, so I'll say everything is okay. But this indeed probably should be better. If you care about that stuff. It's very likely that most people won't care about that stuff. Next part. Ubukante says, Mata tatakaeru to wa na, to think that we would be able to fight again. Even though when we defeated him, he said, we will meet again, I will be revived. So that's kind of weird. It's kind of inconsistent with itself. Final Fantasy IV, the original writers, Sakaguchi, minus 500 points. Alright. With that inconsistency aside, let's see what this says. Super NES. Rubicon says in Super NES, glad to meet and fight you again. This glad feels kind of weird. Maybe I don't really feel gladness in there. Okay. J2E goes with just, we meet again. To think that we get the chance to fight again. To think that we get to fight again. That's what that means. It's not about meeting again, it's about getting to fight again. But I'll say it's fine. Naming way. How I yearned for this. That's good. Okay, we're kind of strained now from there. Right. Next part. Daga, mai no tatakai de omae tachi ni oshierareta. However, in our last fight, you guys taught me something. Chikara o awaseru toyu koto o na. So last time you guys taught me the idea of combining forces, like working together, something like that. You guys taught me in the last fight what it means to combine forces. Okay, Super NES. Glad to meet you, to meet and fight you again. You have taught me to join forces. Technically it says in the last fight, but I won't mark that off because, I mean, that's when he died. It's pretty good for like crunching all that text down. That's pretty good. J2E. We meet again. You showed me the power of those who joined forces. Again, the details are from the last fight. You taught me that. But they dropped that out of the translation there. What's going on in J2E anyway? Right. Naming way. How I yearned for this. You've taught us that many are more powerful than one. Alright, you've taught me. Okay. You taught me in the last fight. We'll say the rest of the fight. Sa kaifuku shite yaro. Now then, I shall restore your health, or something. Now then, I shall heal you. I like that. Even now, he's still like kind of an honorable opponent this way. Sa kaifuku shite yaro. Super NES. Now I will restore your strength. We'll say that's fine. J2E. Now prepare yourselves. No, because he's preparing us for ourselves. So J2E I'll mark off there. Naming way. Now I shall restore you. Let's look at the old J2E. Old J2E says, I'll heal you. So yeah, it used to be correct in the old translation, but the new translation is weird. Sometimes it makes fixes and sometimes it makes mistakes. Naming way says, now I shall restore you. Okay, good. We are now healed. HP MP ga kaifuku shita. HP MP restored. Now it's time for boss fight. Nope, not yet. So Rupakante has one last line before we fight. Motteru chikara no subete de kakatte koi. So come at us with all of the strength that you can muster. All the strength that you have. Bring it all on. Bring it on. Super NES, fight with all your might. J2E. But I feel like fight with all your might. He said that last time, didn't he? Is that maybe just the same line? J2E. Fight us with all your might. Naming way. This time, we shall prevail. That's incorrect translation. That was definitely made up. That's so off the mark. I'm going to take out 2 points there. All the boss battles in this game are so interesting. Alright, so we're fighting now Scarmiglione. With the button, it's very slow. Alright, let me look while we're looking. Even though we're fighting him, his name shows up as Shitenno. So the 4 heavenly kings or the 4 emperors or whatever. So as we select him, his name in my wonder bar thing on the side says Shitenno, so 4 fiends. Easy type keeps it the same. Looks like there's only an HP drop. Super NES calls it Elements, which is kind of funky, kind of weird. J2E, 4 Emperors. Like, this could have just said Fiends, you know? 4 Fiends could fit in there pretty well. 4 Emperors and J2E. And just naming the way it goes with Fiends. Fiends is better, yeah. If you wanted, you could put the word 4 in there too, I don't know. But because they cycle through them, Fiends seems most natural maybe, I guess. So I'm cool with that too. So this has a scripted HP refill where when it goes to Rubicante to Cagnazzo. Alright. So 60,000 HP. Is that just this one? Or is it like everyone? Or is it like shared across them all? I guess we'll find out. Split across 2 Fiends. Okay. We're gonna do a Meteor. I'm doing Fusoya's doing Meteor. His eyes are flashing crazily. But first we're doing Asura. Like, I could totally just like throw an Excalibur and send this to the next fight. I'm trying to make this a little harder. We got cursed. She got cursed. Oh no. Waiting on that Meteor anytime now. Waiting on Meteor. Meteor. And he doesn't even die. Ooh, it healed him. Nice. It healed Scarmiglione. That was pretty cool. I liked seeing that. Okay, not a fight for real. Also, if you do Meteor against Octoman, even though you can't, if you do that, it heals Octoman. I got Bahamut. Didn't expect that. First I brought Meteor and they weren't expecting that, and then I brought Bahamut and they weren't expecting that either. Alright, now we're fighting, still says Shitenno, but it's Rubicant now. Rubicante's been doing his toenails, they're blue down there. I just kind of see that now. Oh crap. Well, that's not too bad. I'm trying to make this fight not go too fast. Kain you, oh no. He did it. He did his thing. We'll never know the kanji. Alright, now now we have, Rubicante has left, and we are now joined by Kainazzo, the water turtle guy. And it looks like these guys have a different HP and stat set. So these guys have 50,000 HP total. So this will be him and probably the Wind Lady, right? We're doing Mega Flare. Should do pretty well. 9999. That's my name in the next life. Let's throw in another Excalibur. Let's throw in all these Excaliburs. They weren't expecting that either. They didn't know that I can hack the universe. They can make a moon, but I can hack the universe. Okay, now we're back to the Wind Lady now. It's kind of neat seeing Kainazo change colors for a second, palette swap. What can I do? I'll just do healing. We just got another fingertip. Pretty sure this is gonna be over real soon. I didn't know I had a secret party member named Chat. And they can't attack Chat. I should take it out. Okay. You killed them. Hopefully there was no secret text in battle for these guys. We won 10,000 gil. That's all that Zemus paid them, all across all 4 of them. That's barely enough to pay for like a couple ends. And then 12,500 experience. Rydia leveled up. No good apropos spells were learned. Yeah, I'll probably want to remove Avenger for CPU. Okay, I will do this. Scarmiglione says, Zemusu-sama! That means like Master Zemus. Supernius, Master Zemus. J2E, Lord Zemus. In the naming way, Lord Zemus. And then Kainatsu says, okay, they're gonna do something with a bunch of text. I think all these lines are gonna like line up. Okay. So Kainatsu says, Ima ichido. And then Valvalis says, Mata mo yabureru to wa. I gotta type that in here. Next part. Ubicante says, Ware ware no kanpai da. Alright. And I have to, these are all separated, so I have to look at this text. So all of those lines together, they're all meant to be one sentence, but each one is saying one piece of the sentence. Okay, so Kainatsu says, just now we have been defeated yet again. Like Master Zemus, once again we have been defeated. It is our utter failure, like our utter defeat. Rubicanti says our utter defeat. All right. Oh man, the way this works is so much work for me to try to compare them all. All right, Supernius goes with, was it Master Zemus? Master Zemus, once again, no, we lost. Okay, I'll just say that's fine because it's kind of complicated. J2E, no, Lord Zemus, no, it can't be. Barbarisha says, why? Rubicon says, we've failed. We'll say that's fine. In the naming way, says, Lord Zemus, we failed. Not again. Farewell. Okay. I don't like that farewell on a naming way there. Again, that weird farewell thing. All right. I think that's all good. Easy type has a change here. Ware no makeda. So they changed kanpai, which is utter defeat, complete defeat, to just we lose or our defeat. Kanpai da. Kanpai is what you say when you're like toasting or doing a drink thing, but kanpai can also mean complete defeat. Alright. Alright. Now we need to unequip Cecil with the Avenger so that we will take control of him again. Do I want Defender or Excalibur? Guess it doesn't matter. We managed to get 4 alarms. That's pretty good. We got 4 alarm chili. That's weird. Usually this doesn't happen. When you walk downstairs, you don't face up when you show up again. But here you do. That's strange. It was weird. For a second I saw this little like blue ball thing. It had a different color. It was like red for a second. That was weird. Alright. Now we're gonna go to the boss of this place. Yeah, technically that place might not be a lung, but it's some kind of passageway involving air. So maybe it's just more like related to lungs, I don't know. Also, breathing life back in, that wasn't in the Japanese text. Run! I'm just gonna run. Yeah, this is Fukinuke's a couple things. Can I get attacked in this room? Is there... Okay, that answers that. I lost some money. Oh no, you guys. Ooh, I can walk over here. Mech dragons appear in there. Alright. Let me do a save state here. We are now in a room called the Seigyo Sochi. This is the control mechanism, control device, something like that. Let me bring it up. Seigyo. Yeah, I guess Seigyo Sochi is on this dictionary. It's controller or controller unit. It's like the thing that drives everything, keeps everything running, controls it. Super NES, this just becomes CPU. Which isn't wrong, I guess. I don't know what's going on here with J2E calling it the Giant's Lung. In naming way, calling it Giant's Heart. I'm going to mark off points on those for now. And then I'll double check those. Make sure it's not on my end. I don't think so, though. Okay, location. Name. 119. Because this is just saying this is the control device. It's not necessarily the CPU. It's not a lung or a heart. I can I moved it over here. Right, here we go. This also feels like the end of, near the end of 7 Saga here. Everyone was into these kinds of control systems. All right. We now walked into this strange room with a giant sphere globe in the middle. Uh-oh. I don't want you guys to hear that sound forever. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to turn off the music right now. So I can do this text. When we go to the battle, I'll do it. I don't want you guys to hear an alarm this whole time. Alright. Yeah, even the alarm sounds like a 7 Saga. Alright. Alright. So it's like a weird room. There's an alarm is now going off. The room is red. There's a giant globe in the middle. It's like a weird black globe. The party is looking at it, and Fusoya says in Japanese, "Koko ga Kyojin no Shinzobu Seigyo System da." This is the giant's heart section. Like it's at the place where the heart is. the control system. And then Edge says, Deke, it's huge. Okay, so maybe that's why Naming Way changed it to say the heart because of this text here. I don't know. Shinzobu can definitely mean like Shinzo is heart and Bu is part. So when this dictionary says central part, that's not incorrect. But the first thing that comes to mind is like heart, like the heart organ. All right, so it's the control system. All right, Super NES. It's the core of this giant, the CPU. So for Seigyo Shistemu, they're going with CPU. They're going hard with that? Okay. And then Super NES, man, it's huge. This man was added in, but it feels like it was added in by someone who knows native English, maybe. So like a draft 2 possibly there. J2E. This is the giant's heart, the control system. We'll say that's fine. And then J2E. Damn, it's huge, and huge is capitalized all the way. And then Naming Way. This is the heart of the giant, the CPU. So they're going with CPU too. They're following Super NES's path. All right, we'll say that's fine. Edge's line is missing, however, so we'll mark off for Naming Way there. Okay, next line. Fusoya continues. Let me just bring all these down. He continues. Seigyo Shistemu, Hontai yori mazu, Boei Shistemu, Tatakaneba. Man, that neba always gets me. Tatakaneba. Kaifuku sarete shimau zo. All right. So rather than attack the main control system, first we must strike the defense system, or else it will be healed. Like it'll get healed up, something like that. I won't try to like rephrase all that. We'll just move forward. Super NES. We must destroy the defensive system first. Defensive and system is capitalized. Otherwise, all the damage will be repaired. So it's saying, so the part about like rather than focus on the main part, that part got dropped. But I'm okay with that because it's saying what to do first anyway. I'm okay with that drop. J2E. Before we attack the control system, we've got to destroy the defense system, or else it'll repair itself. A good advice from Fusoya on CPU strat, unless you're playing FF4 3D, where the attack node will destroy you, and the defender will casually fart around. Okay, so the 3D version does stuff. Okay, so basically the text here is saying go for the defense system first, otherwise it'll get healed. J2E. It did that, it'll repair itself. Naming Way. This is the heart of the giant, the CPU. We must destroy the defender first, or all damage will be repaired. I'm kind of interested to know how he knows all this stuff too. All right. So the attack system is still beefy in this version. I would recommend slowing it while the others work on damaging. Okay, defensive system, defender. All right. All good there. People in the chat are talking about stuff. I'm getting confused with what they're talking about, the 3D version and what's going on in here, so I want to just focus on this for now. All right. Let's say that's all fine. Now we're in the battle. I gotta pause it so I can put the music back on. All right. All right, so we're fighting 3 black globes, black spheres. They look like weird, super future mechanical things. All right. One is called the Geigeki Shistemu, and that is like the offensive systems. It's kind of like it does the attacking, like in an intercept, and like it's an interceptor. Is the idea of Geigeki. So okay, Super NES that becomes attacker. J2E attack sys, and naming way attacker. Next is the Boei Shistemu, the defense system. ED type is the same. Super NES Defender, that's the name of our sword. Okay, J2E Defense Sys, and naming way Defender. And then the big one is called the Seigyo Shistemu, the control system. And then that just becomes CPU and Super NES. J2E becomes control sys, and naming way CPU. Okay. So kill the defender, slow attacker at least. Okay. I'm going to unpause and then I'm going to do the actual fighting. So we got a laser done on us, on all people. It's kind of a cool pause I did there. Everyone's getting hit. It's called the Toka Laser. This multi-party laser, multi-character laser attack. Toka is like, where is it on here? Is it on here? For some reason I want it to be like having to do with like heat stuff. Anyway, that becomes Super NES Mazer, which is like a microwave laser, right? And J2E is laser, and naming way is Mazer. I wish that was showing up on here. Oh well. I'm doing the silver hourglass now. I don't know what that will do. Okay, I'm using it. I'm using the silver hourglass. It does stop. It did it on Rosa. No. She got stopped. Alright, well, we're just going to Excalibur our way through. Alright, anything else of interest that I can do? Nothing. So does it revive? Does it revive the other one if I kill both? I can't remember. I can do Sylph on CPU. Okay, so if I kill both of these systems, like the defense system and the offense, or in the offense system, they'll be revived. So we'll just take the offensive system's damage. We'll be grateful for it. Well, that's right, it'll do an instant kill if you kill both. Alright, I'll do a slow on the attacker. Should I try to see what that Globe 999 is? Okay, I'll heal up the party. I want to see what it does. Let's see what this globe thing is called. Probably something weirder. Alright, so when you kill them both, bad things happen. We're gonna do the bad things now. Alright, we've killed the second one. Big globe is gonna be angry. It's doing reflect on itself. Okay, it's about to do a super scary attack on us. In Japanese, it's called Buttai Hyakukyujukyu. So, like, object 199. Buttai can also, let's see, body or an object. So it's just like a physics term, you know, like an object or a body. 199. I wonder if this means something. 199. EQQ. Like in the Japanese number play. I wonder if the 199 has any specific meaning, extra meaning. Some protocol. Alright, so it's like object 199. Super NES, that becomes globe 199. It doesn't need to be globe, it could just be like OBJ 199. J2E, num 199. So number 1999 or 199. I don't know what the deal is with that. Why are we putting number in there? I don't really. And the naming way goes with globe 199, just like Super NES. So more recent official translations might call it object 199. And there's an attack in FF9 called G-Force 199. What is that 199? It's funny because that weird line from earlier was location 119. Yeah, so when it does it looks like there's a like sphere globes come get us. Watch. Boom, and then he just full death. Doesn't it do it again? Yeah. And Saisei. Saisei is like to be reborn, to regenerate, something like that. Super NES recover, J2E regen, and naming way recover. I like the idea that it's regenerating, not recovering. So J2E does better here maybe, although regen gives me different vibes in the Final Fantasy context. Okay, elixirs, go! We're all healing up here. Okay, bring back Edge. Then just keep doing the Sylph stuff. We need to kill that defender. It's been bringing it back. It's bringing its HP back. Okay, where's slow? Let me put slow on here. Oh, wait, it's the other one. Alright, now I'm just gonna go crazy and start Excaliburing. Excalibur time. Alright. I think we got this in the bag at this point. We just gotta slowly take out the big CPU guy. We won't do the Excalibur this time. So we did another of the Mind Wave. I'm glad I have the Sylph so I can do this without being taking out that first attacker guy. Hello, Jimmy RCG. Doing good. Alright, now we'll do Excalibur. You have so many Excaliburs, how is he holding them all? Alright, we took it out. We still have to take out this last one. Aw, little attacker is all alone. Can I use a Phoenix down? Bring them back? Guess not. For some reason no text appears there. That's so strange that no text appears right there. This is probably a weird fight. Or maybe it got moved, like its slot got moved. Alright, we did it, we beat it. Alright. Lots of experience. I mean money and experience. Rosa has leveled up. Has learned nothing. Alright. Oh, the CPU is exploding. I should have put in a cooler in there. Alright. To this, now that the CPU has destroyed, Cecil shouts, Yatta! We did it! And then Ed says, Ugoki ga tomatta ze. It stopped moving. Alright, a bunch of text gonna come up, yeah. Okay. So we did it. And then Ed says, it stopped moving. Okay, Super NES, we did it. It stopped. J2E, we did it. It stopped. Naming Way, we did it. It stopped. This is crazy. Except, ta-da! Kain says this text in Super NES. And this is another memory I have from back in the 90s. I want to say maybe like in 93 or 94, I was playing the game. And I finally noticed this mistake here with Kain being credited instead of Cecil. And it was like such a weird thing that I even took like the family camera and got a screenshot of it that way. I took a one of those old style cameras. I don't know where that photo is anymore, but I made sure to get it. So even back like 30 something years ago, I was caring about this stuff. Oh, pose home. Okay, so Super NES will get a mistake, and then I'll give it. All right. I don't know how that happened. Like, this looked like it was almost perfect. It almost looks like a perfect match across all versions. Unfortunately, Super NES failed. All right. All right. Now an unstated voice shouts, Honore! And that's like a really rude term for like you, like curse you or damn you, something like that. It can be just like it could go multiple ways, but it's really strong anger and hatred in that right there. And the delivery makes it clear. It's got the held extra long, and then 2 exclamations. Super NES says, "You wretch." That's okay. Even has the re in there feeling, that re. J2E, you, triple exclamation, kaboom. And Naming Way, curse you. So these are all appropriate translations, all doing it the same way, but they're just all coming from different directions, explaining the same thing, translating the same thing. All right. Golbez walks down from above the screen. He says, Yokumo Kyojino. How dare you verb the Kyojin? How dare you verb the giant? Okay. Super NES, this becomes, you ruined my plan. I want this to say, he's talking about the giant right here. I'm going to mark that off. J2E, you've stopped the giant. That's fine, but it looks like there's some more text that's going to appear in a second. Naming Way, I've had enough of you foiling my plan, so not talking about the giant. All right, so this kind of just means like, how dare you verb the giant. Super NES adds a new line. It says, you ruined my plan, you shall pay for this. This is kind of new. This you shall pay for this, I'll mark that out. Like you can kind of feel the vibe in there a little bit, the teeny bit in Yokumo. Okay, J2E is clearly like copying from the Super NES here because it takes that line that was made up and then adds, like, punches it up further. You've stopped the giant. You will all pay for this with your lives. I mean, look, it's just a short little bit of text here, and then J2E is like blah, blah, blah. All right, 1, 2. I'll just do 2 on that one. Well, for copying Super NES, I'll mark off there. Naming way, I've had enough of you foiling my plans. Time to pay. This time to pay thing isn't technically in there, like I just mentioned. I'll just take off 1 point there. All right. Then Fusoya, in response to seeing Golbez, says Onushiwa, and that means you, or you are ... something like that. You, or it's you. Okay. Super NES, just you. J2E, you, and the naming way, you. Okay. Okay, so Fusoya walks over to Golbez, and Golbez steps back. Golbez says, Nanda Kisama wa, and that means like, who are you, or what are you doing, or what do you want? And that Kisama is quite rude. So you could go from like, what's your deal, or to like, what the F are you doing? You could go a long way. There's like a big valley you can traverse if wherever you want to translate from. Super NES goes with, get away. I don't like that. He's like asking about who he is or like what the heck he's doing. J2E, who? Used to say, who? Who the hell are you? Yeah, that would have worked better, yeah. Actually, that's what it says now. Who? Who the hell are you? All right. We'll say that's fine. Who the hell are you? Naming way. Get back. So it's like rephrasing the Super NES. I'll mark off there. Fusoya continues. Onushi, jibun ga dare ka wakatte oru no ka? You, do you know who you are? Do you understand who you are? Something like that. Okay. Super NES. Don't you realize who you are? What a like exclamation in there, because we see I have one there and one there. J2E, you, don't you even know who you are? This even doesn't need to be in there. I'll say it's fine, but it doesn't need to be in there. Naming way. Don't you realize who you are? Okay. To this, Golbez says, Yamedo! And that means don't, or stop, or don't do it. Something like that. Like something's about to happen and Golbez doesn't want it to happen. Super NES says, stop it. We'll say that's fine. Although his delivery here makes it clear that he's in a very unique situation now. Like maybe he's suffering from something, he's feeling something. All right. So stop it. J2E goes with, no, stop. This does a better job. And then that line is missing entirely in naming way. Mark that off. It's an important line too. Fusoya then says, Meo samasu no da. That means like, now you must wake up. Now you will wake up, or just wake up. Something like that. Come to your senses, or wake up. Open your eyes, literally. Okay. Super NES, wake up. J2E, open your eyes. And that's literally open your eyes. Meo samasu. Me is eye, and samasu is to like awaken. So open your eyes. Although it gives the wrong idea when you translate it as open your eyes, because it makes it seem like he has his eyes shut. I'll mark them off. It comes off strangely there. And the naming way says, wake up. Okay. Then for some reason, naming way has it say, Fusoya used the crystal, but that text doesn't appear anywhere. Okay, now like weird crystal light is happening. A disco ball must be going on in the room right now. And then some kind of crystal magic has occurred. And then Fusoya is now lying on the ground on his back. Golbez looks around. Now we have a bunch of text. Golbez says ... Watashi wa naze anna ni nikushimi ni kararete ita no daro. Why was I so controlled by hatred? Karareru. Why was I like so driven by hatred? Why did I succumb to hatred so? Something like that. Super NES. Why did I have all that hatred? The delivery is a little off. We can see the ... dots before and after in Super NES, but nothing. I mean, in Super Famicom, Super NES has nothing. Okay. J2E is J2E. All right. Golbez says in J2E ... no ... What have I done? ... Oh God ... What have I done? All right. I was filled with so much hatred. And that was all in there from the original. All right. So all this was made up, it looks like. So I'm just going to mark off for what was made up. So, no, what have I done? 1, 2, 3. Oh God, what have I done? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I was filled with so much hatred. We'll say that the why was I filled with so much hatred was contained in this, like, what have I done? We'll say that's fine. But, okay. Go back. Okay, naming way. ... Am I ... free of the hatred? He's asking a question, so I'm gonna mark off there. There's a mistake. Alright. Next part. Fusoya says ... Jibun o torimodoshita ka? You've regained yourself, huh? You've regained yourself, I see. Or so you've regained yourself. You've found yourself again, something like that. Super NES. Come to your senses! That makes it sound like he's doing the wake up. But no, this should be a question mark. This would feel like a draft 1 weirdness. I'm gonna mark that off in Super NES. Okay, J2E. ... You've regained your senses. Alright, we'll say that's fine. Naming way. You've come to your senses, ... Theodore. This Theodore thing clearly coming from a more modern FF4. None of that is in the original text, so I'm going to mark off here. I will actually mark off 2. Okay, next line. ... Onushi, chichi no na o oboeteru ka? ... Do you remember your father's name? Okay, Super NES. Do you remember your father's name? J2E. Your father. Tell me your father's name. I don't like how that flows. Mark that off. It's not so aggressive, and there's none of this hesitation necessarily on that sentence there. Okay, naming way. Do you remember your father's name? Okay, that's good. Golbez then says, Chichi? ... Kuruya ka? My father? Do you mean Kluya? Is it something like that? Super NES. My father, his name is Kluya? Okay, J2E. My father, Kluya. And I would like there to be a question mark there, because he's not sure. He's saying it, but he's like not sure of how he's able to say it. I would like a question mark there in J2E, but I won't mark off. Naming way. My father, his name is Kluya. Would have also liked a question mark in there, because he's searching his memories and finding something unexpectedly. Okay, next line. Cecil says, Nandatte? Say what? Something like that. What did you say? Say what? Sometimes it can mean come again. Let me bring this down over here. Does non-date show up on there? Yeah, what? Why come again? Okay, super NES. And it says what? J2E goes real hard with this, all caps, like caps lock on, caps lock is cool. What? That feels very fanficky, just that delivery, just like when you do all caps like that. Okay. Naming way. ... What? Delivery very, very wrong here on naming way. Let me bring that there. Okay, but I won't mark off on any of those. The what is in there. Rosa then says, Soreja Seshiru no ... Edge continues the sentence with Aniki kayo. Then he's Cecil's big brother? With a sort of like incredulousness to it. He can't believe it himself, Edge. Like, seriously, it's his big brother? Alright, Super NES. Rosa says that means. Edge then says Cecil's brother? And again, like I mentioned yesterday, in Japanese, they don't really have a single word for just a plain brother. You either have one for little brother or big brother. Same with sister too. There's only one for like little brother or little sister or big sister. So in translation, we actually lose something in translation, even though they could have kept it in there. I don't know what makes Edge think that Golbez is the older brother in Japanese. Is there some reason that he comes to the idea that Golbez is automatically the older brother? Anyways, Edge says Cecil's brother. J2E. All this time ... Cecil's ... brother. All this time is made up. I'll mark that off. Okay. Naming way. Then you're ... Cecil's brother? So again, it's not clear in any of the translations that Edge thinks it's the big brother. Next line. Where am I? I was losing all. No, it's okay for this to sometimes lose the details. Alright. Cecil then says Golbez ga ... Boku no ... Golbez is Golbez is my ... Okay. Super NES. Golbez ... is ... my ... Okay, that's pretty good. J2E. Golbez is saying that's kind of hard to say that. Golbez is my. Golbez is. That is a clunky phrase. Golbez is my ... But we'll say that's fine. And naming way, Golbez ... is my ... brother. So this brother was added in. We'll mark that off. It's very minor. All right. Fusoya then starts to explain the situation. Onushi wa Zemusu no telepashi de ryo sarete ita no da. You were being controlled by Zemus's telepathy. Yeah, naming way and Super NES are now tied at negative 1074. Alright. Let me just bring this all down. Bring this down. Alright, you were being used by Zemus's telepathy. He's saying this to Golbez. Super NES, you were controlled by Zemus's telepathy. Okay, so telepathy does indeed appear in the Super NES script. That's good to know. J2E, you were controlled by Zemus. I would like it to have said telepathy in there. It's like a very exotic word in the Japanese script, especially. I'll mark that off in J2E. naming way. Zemus controlled you telepathically. Telepathically? What a crazy word that is. Telepathically. Okay. That's good. He continues. Kuruya no tsuki no tami no chi ga yori sore o zofuku shiteita no da. So your Kuya's blood made it stronger. So your Lunarian blood from Kuya made that stronger in you. Like, I guess it amplified it inside of you. Zofuku. Zofuku's amplification. So your Lunarian blood caused it to be amplified, something like that. So this is already the naming way uses the same text compression that Super NES uses, which is just a very basic dictionary compression. Very basic. It's the same exact dictionary, in fact. It could be improved, but then improving that will make it like unworkable with the ordinary tools that hackers use. And I don't think naming way people have that kind of technical prowess to do it without those tools. Okay, so Kuya's Lunarian blood made it amplified inside of you. J2E. Those of lunar blood are susceptible to psychic power, thus easier to control. You were his unwitting pawn. Alright, so made up stuff is happening here. The psychic power thing is kind of made up out of nowhere. I'll only mark off 2 because it is sort of talking about psychic telepathy. Thus easier to control. I don't like that though. You were his unwitting pawn. No. There used to be an extra line in J2E here. You were controlled by Zemus. The power he must possess by now. So that's was made up, and that was removed later. Okay, naming way. Your Lunarian blood made it easy for him to use you. Alright, we'll say that, but really like the amplification idea. A little bit of like the mechanics of how this stuff works. Rather than just say it's easy, it's saying what exactly happened. Moving on. Kyodai de tatakao nado. Exclamation. To think you would fight as siblings. Something like that. That is missing in Super NES, J2E, and Naming Way. It's kind of it's in a complete sentence, so it's kind of harder to translate. And he's giving his judgment, a judgmental line about the situation. And that combination makes it a little more clunkier to translate. I can see how it kind of just fell out. But it should probably be in there. He's saying, I can't believe that you guys had to fight as siblings as a result. Rosa comes up to Cecil. Edge and Rydia go over to the others. Edge then says, Ji-san, and that means like old man or Gramps or something like that. We have an easy type change in here. Just a simple one that we'll see later. Ji-san. That means like Gramps or old man. So he's talking to Fusoya probably, who's like on his back. Super NES has him say man. And that is a poor choice of words. If it had just said old man, that would have been better. This makes it just seem like he's saying man, like commenting on the situation. J2E. What the hell is what he says? That's not good. Mark that off. He used to say old man. Used to be better, so I'm gonna definitely mark off the second one there. Naming way. Fusoya. Why would you say his name there? I don't like that. Alright, next line. Cecil says, Boku wa ... Ani o nikumi tatakatte . I hated my big brother and fought him . I fought with hatred of my big brother, something like that. So he is Cecil is indeed acknowledging that Golbez is the older brother. I don't know where this is coming from. I guess maybe we can just tell from their faces or their voices. I don't really know. Hard to say. I'm not really sure. Okay. So Nikumi here is to hate or to detest. So I fought while hating my brother, something like that. Super NES. I have been fighting my own brother. That's fine, but I really want that hate in there. Big brother would have been nice too, but I'm not gonna harp on the big brother thing. It's just as a thing that happens in translation. You see it all the time, which is how it is. Nikumi. Alright, so Super NES mark off there. J2E. I was fighting my own brother. The part about hatred is missing in there. Alright, nothing about hatred was in there in the old translation either. Naming way. I fought him. I hated him. My own brother. Yes, there we go. Very good naming way. I'm gonna give you a point on that and then give you...
Excellent.
For fighting your own brother. Next line. Golbez says, Omae ga watashi no ... You're my ... There's very Japanese style writing here. So that becomes just straight up, you are my brother, ? In Super NES. So it fills in the brother in there. Omae ga watashi no. We'll say it's fine. J2E. You're my... Okay, that's fine. And then naming way. You are my brother, period. That's weird delivery on there. Alright, it's weird. It could be better. Cecil then says, Demo, ... Moshikashitara gyaku no tachiba kamoshirenakatta n da. But the situation could have been reversed. Boku ga Zemusu no telepathy o ukete ireba. Had I been the one who had received Zemus's telepathy... So he's considering the reverse situation where he could have been the one who had been controlled instead. Super NES. But it could have been me who was controlled by Zemus's telepathy. Okay. Kind of compresses everything down into a bite-sized single text box in English. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. J2E goes all the way, but it could have been the other way around. I could have been used for evil. Okay, that I could have been used for evil thing seems wrong. Yeah. We're still talking about telepathy. Then he says, I was a Dark Knight. That's made up. 1, 2, 3. That stuff was in there from the start on J2E. Naming way. But were it me, the one Zemus chose to control, our roles may have been reversed. Kind of is ironically flipping the text here. It's like reversing the text. Naming way is here. It's a little strange. So, but our roles may have been reversed. Were it me, the one Zemus chose to control. I like the way it flows in the original Japanese better, but I won't mark this off. The order of thought is better in Japanese, I feel. Alright, we'll move on. Golbez then speaks. ... Shikashi, sore ga watashi ni todoita toyu koto wa. However, the fact that it reached me, or the fact that it affected me, means ... Sukunakarazu watashi ga ashiki kokoro o motte ita kara. But the fact that it reached me instead of you means that at the very least I had an evil heart, a heart of evil. Let's see, there's a lot going on in that text. Let's see, let's pull it apart. Sukunakarazu. I had an evil heart, is what he's saying. So the evil heart changed in easy type from ashiki, which is like wicked or vile, just like a fancier word for evil. They changed that to the simpler word of aku no kokoro, and heart of evil. But the fact that it reached me means that I had an evil heart, quite an evil heart. Okay, super NES. But it, capital I, was me, ... Just for that, I'll mark that off there. That is a pretty blatant mistake there. It means my soul was stained with evil for Zemus to use. So he's using soul for kokoro here, which is fine. This is giving off sort of an idea that it could have been a plan all along. His soul was stained so that Zemus could use it, but there is no, like, in order to, there was no intent there. It's giving off a secondary effect that isn't in the original text. Okay, J2E. But our souls were tested. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You renounced evil, so I was found wanting. What? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all wrong. And it was always that way in J2E. J2E is making up stuff there. Like, Golbez was already being manipulated well before Cecil began his path to the Paladin. Naming way. No, my soul was stained with evil long before all this. I was the perfect pawn for Zemus to use. So he's making a logical connection based on the facts available to him. Well, he's just learned about this telepathy stuff and the blood stuff. So he's saying, he's putting it together now, the pieces. He's saying, the fact that I was affected by the telepathy must mean that it happened because my heart was dark. My heart was evil. So it's kind of like coming at it from like a reverse direction. It's like, it's not super wrong, but it's like weird. For the weirdness, I'll just mark off 1. Yeah, it's just wordier than the Super NES version, it looks like. It doesn't feel like a good translation. Alright. To this, Golbez says, Zemusu! ... Exclamation! Alright, that's missing in Super NES, so he's showing his anger now towards Zemus. Missing in Super NES. J2E has Zemus in there. However, the flow of the text was weirded by their made-up stuff. So now it looks like J2E says, you renounced evil, so I was found wanting Zemus. That weird side effect. I'm going to mark off another point because that's just a weird side effect. And that line is missing the naming way. Golbez starts to walk away. Cecil says, Dokoe. Kind of, he's shouting, where are you going? Something like that. Super NES, where are you going? J2E, where are you going? And naming way, where are you going? He's only emphatic in J2E though. Golbez says, Kono tatakai, watashi jishin ga ketchaku o tsukeru. I personally will put an end to this fight. He's very emphatic, super emphatic. Super NES, I'll settle all this myself, double exclamation. J2E, I'm going to end this myself. Naming way. To put an end to all of this period. So naming way, I will mark off for the delivery on this one. This one's pretty off. This myself would be nice to have, but I feel like the delivery here does imply self. He's going away to put it into it, so I won't mark off here. It's okay. Golbez starts to walk away more. Fusoya says mate, that means wait, or stop, or something like that. He says wait in all versions. That's pretty crazy to see it this way. I'll just give it this. Yay! Golbez looks down. Fusoya then says, Zemusumo tsuki no tami. Zemus is also a Lunarian. Watashi mo tomo ni yuko. I will join you. I will come with you. I will go with you. Super NES. Zemus is a lunar. They've been calling them Lunarian, so calling them a lunar isn't good. Kind of inconsistent there. Zemus is a lunar. He belongs to my race. I'll come with you. This middle sentence is strange. Why is it in here? You could just say Zemus is also a Lunarian. I'll come with you. That's all it really says in there. Alright. J2E. Zemus is also of our race. I'll come with you. I don't know why there's not saying Lunarian in here. Naming way says, well, in a very toned down naming way style, Zemus is a Lunarian, as am I. I will join you. Okay, so this is good. Also, it's possible that he's just saying that he's a Lunarian. He's not saying, like, I feel like in Fusoya's mind, Golbez is just as Lunarian as Zemus. I don't think there's a contrast necessarily being happening here. So we're all going to be Lunarians. Is how it goes. I don't really feel this as am I thing is in there. And also this race. J2E kind of gets to where I was pointing at with this our race. Some weird stuff all around in here. Okay. Naming way does it maybe the best here. Or I guess J2E kind of does good too. Okay. Golbez walks over to Fusoya. Fusoya gets up and looks at Golbez. Golbez says, Sarabada, Seshiru, ... That means farewell, Cecil, ... Super NES. Good - bye, Cecil, ... J2E, farewell, Cecil, ... And naming way, goodbye, Cecil, period. Fusoya looks down. Cecil looks sad. Fusoya and Golbez have left. Okay. New text box. I need some water. Alright. Edge out. So now it's just like the party. The party is the only group left. Edge says, Inoka yo Seshiru. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about this, Cecil? Or like, are you okay with this? Are you really okay with this, Cecil? That's kind of the underlying vibe. Are you really okay with this, Cecil? Super NES. Are you just going to let him go like this? And this definitely feels like Draft 2, pulling out the meaning from underneath the words and phrasing it in proper native English. This is what I would call localization, maybe. Inoka yo Seshiru. Are you going to just let him go like this? This is very context dependent, though. Kind of impressed by it. But I would have liked the word Cecil to be in there. Alright, I'm going to mark off because I want Cecil to be in there. This is a question for Cecil's morals and moral dilemma or whatever, ethics. I don't know. J2E. Cecil, come on. He'll get himself killed. It's a little off the mark. Okay, naming way gets kind of like the most literal of the line here, saying, "Is this all right, Cecil?" It's more like, "Are you okay with this? Are you okay with what's happening, what's unfolding?" But this is kind of like the literal translation. This is what's lying underneath the translation. Like when I say sometimes there's stuff lying beneath the words, that's how it works. This is just kind of a mess, a little bit of a mess there. I won't mark this off, but it could be better. Rosa then says, Golbez dot dot dot. Ano hito shinu tsumori yo. So Golbez, he intends to die, you know. All right. Super NES. He may lose his life! Exclamation. And then so the delivery is different. And it's not specifically referring to Golbez. Like we could be talking about Fusoya. But he intends to die is different from he may lose his life. So I'll mark off. Intending to die is pretty strong. J2E. He's walking straight to his death. And one intent. He's not like going to be in danger. He knows he's going to be in danger. He's going to die. Naming way gets it right. That man intends to die. Golbez's name drops out of all of these translations. It is kind of awkward to fit that in there. It's that thing where it's just like name ... In Japanese entertainment, name ... is kind of like a very common thing. It kind of stands out sometimes in straight up translation. All right. Next part. Cecil just says ... You have ... and Super NES, ... and J2E, ... and naming way. I'm glad the naming way kept it. Rydia then says, Oni-san nan desho? He's your big brother, right? Super NES, isn't he your big brother? So here's the big brother coming up. Somehow, Rydia knows in Super NES that it's the big brother. Rydia has powers beyond imagination. All right. This line feels a lot like back in Kaipo when we first meet Edward, and then Rydia's getting on Edward's case. This line feels like it's straight out of that. Okay, J2E. He's your brother, right? So the big brother not included in the translation. It was removed from translation. Now, since I know it was removed from translation, I'm going to remove a point. But sometimes it doesn't, like, it's just a thing that happens. Like, when it rains, you get wet sometimes, you know? All right. Naming way. ... He's your brother, period. The delivery on this needs to be better. To match the tone of that's happening in here. But I can't hear it. I can't feel it in there. But I'll say it, I'll just skip it. Cecil says Nissan ... He's not saying Nissan, the company. This isn't an ad for Nissan Motors. It's Nissan, big brother. All right, I'll mark off naming way for that. He's your brother thing there. All right, Nissan ... So she's what's happening is like he's kind of muttering or repeating what Rydia just said. So Oni-san nan desho. So that then he says Nissan there. So that's kind of what's happening. It's like a semi-reflection. Super NES, he's saying brother ... Kind of coming off of that brother and Rydia's line. J2E ... brother ... Okay. In the naming way, my ... brother. The my doesn't need to be in there, but it's fine. It's kind of implied in Japanese anyway. All right. Naming Way ran out of track. Naming Way's train has no more track to run on. Rydia says, Solio, that's right. So he's kind of like lost in his thought, his trauma or whatever. Rydia is speaking more sense into him. That's basically what she's been doing the entire game. I didn't realize how much sense Rydia brings to the game. Okay. Rydia says, right, in Super NES. J2E just kind of doesn't have that. Says, go after him, which isn't right. J2E used to say, big brother? Is he older? That is he older thing was completely added in. All right. In Naming Way ran out of track. There's no text there. And Cecil is still lost in his thoughts. He's working through his emotions. This is a lot to take in for him. So he goes with his ... yet again. This is like probably, if Cecil ends up as a Smash Brothers fighter, his taunt needs to just be ... Okay. Super NES ... J2E ... Naming Way nothing. All right. The place starts shaking and the party is looking around. Edge says, ya beze. That means like, crap, or like, we're in trouble, man. Just, things look bad. Yabai has like a million translations. And then Rydia says, Nigenaito, we need to escape. Okay. So Super NES, Edge says, it's collapsing. He's just more just saying like, oh crap, or like, things are bad. He's not saying what's happening. I'll mark that off because we don't know what's actually happening. J2E, holy shit, this is not good. Either one of these would be fine. Both is kind of weird. He used to say, uh-oh. This is how like, uh-oh is spelled by old people sometimes. Oh-oh. Uh-oh. He used to say, oh shit. Then it becomes, holy shit, this is not good. It's a little excessive there, I don't know. Well, I'll restore, I don't care. Naming Way, this isn't good. That's probably the best out of all of these. Rydia says, Nigenaito, we have to escape. She says to Super NES, we must get out. J2E, we've got to get out of here. And Naming Way, we need to go. Okay, all good. Rosa says, Cecil, or Seshiru. Cecil. Okay. It's in Super NES. That's in J2E. And that's in Naming Way. Cecil's still lost in his emotions. So he goes ... And ... dots are everywhere too. Party surrounds Cecil now, who is still just like really distraught. Edge says, Nani stenda? Like, what the hell are you doing? Or like, what are you doing, man? Like, what's the holdup is the kind of the feeling I get. Rydia then says, Demo, deguchi wa? But where's the exit? Okay. Super NES, what's the matter? Question. It could be better delivery and translation. J2E, what the hell are you doing? I'll say that's fine. Maybe it could be better, but it's in the mark. Naming Way, we need to get out of here. That's lying underneath the words, but it's not what he's literally saying. Right. Rydia then says, but where's the exit? Super NES, but where's the way out? He's very emphatic, not so much in Super NES. J2E, how do we get out of here? Okay, good. Then the Naming Way. Rydia says, but how? Mark that up. Okay. Then there's one more line. A voice from unknown sources says Kochida, over here, this way, something like that. Super NES, this way. J2E, this way. And naming way, this way. You could just say over here, too. Adding J2E instead of naming way. Alright. Kain walks in from the top. Rosa then shouts, Kain! And Edge says, Sonotenya nonna nonneze. Sonotenya nonneze. Very loose. Very like loose and casual. And kind of rude. Quite rude actually. It means Kain, and then Edge says, we won't fall for that trick. We won't fall for your tricks. You can't trick us like that. Alright. Super NES, Kain, and then you can't trick us anymore. J2E, Kain, we won't fall for that. And then naming way Kain, you won't trick us again. Kain walks down, and then he says, Hanashi wa ato da, we'll talk later. Shinitai no ka, do you want to die? Like, we can talk later, do you want to die? Okay, Super NES, talk later, we must hurry. That just sounds like someone who can barely speak English. Okay, talk later, we must hurry. So, the part about do you want to die is missing. J2E, save the talk for later, we'll die if we don't hurry. Alright, we'll say that J2E is fine. Naming way, save it. We must hurry. So they're clearly not translating at this point. They're pulling from Super NES. Save it, we must hurry. So I'll mark off. Save it is fine. We must hurry is the same deal as do you want to die? Yeah, I agree that J2E is a bit wordy for an emergency. The place is really shaking now. Rosa says, Hayaku. That means hurry. And then Super NES, hurry up. J2E, quickly. Naming way, he's right. I don't know about he's right. Mark it off. Alright, we're rushing to a door in the back. Did you guys not see that exit earlier? Did you not see them leave earlier too? What the heck? Okay, so now we're back outside. The Giant is being destroyed by explosions while the tanks and the airships are out there. Okay, so people are saying that that last line on Naming Way was entirely made up. It's not in DS or GBA or SNES. So I guess that shows that sometimes Naming Way will make up things. Okay, we're back on the Lunar Whale, the magic ship. All right, the party is facing Kain. They're like, it's like a face-off. Kain has betrayed them multiple times at this point. They have no reason to trust him. Oh boy, this text might be pretty long. Yeah, we got time. Man, my butt hurts though. My butt hurts, so I want to get up and I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and then we'll come back. We'll play. Do we have a music to play? Oops. Okay, we'll do this for now. I want to take a quick break. Okay, I should be back hopefully. Alright. So again, it's the party facing off against Kain. They have no reason to trust Kain anymore, but he did try to save them. Alright, so Kain then says in Japanese, Yatto jibun no kokoro o torimorosu koto ga dekita. Finally, I'm able to regain control of my heart, of my mind. I finally have regained control of my heart. Or taken my heart back, something like that. Taken my mind back. Super NES. At last, I was able to regain consciousness. It's a little clunky. The idea is in there. It could be better phrased. Okay. J2E. I finally regained control of myself. Oh. Then it makes up a new line. My mind was held captive by my evil actions. That was made up. 1, 2, 3. All right. Naming way. My mind is my own again. There's a finally, yatto, like finally, yatto, at long last. It's kind of the feeling, at long last, or finally. I would have liked that finally in naming way. Like, it kind of like, if there's any suspicions, that finally kind of helps dispel them slightly. I'll mark off there. All right. Imasara yurushite kureru to wa iwan ga. I won't ask you to forgive me at this point, but... ... Super NES. And I am ready to pay the consequences. So the Imasara is like after everything, it's like too late to ask, you know, like the Imasara, like after everything. I would have liked that Imasara in there. J2E. I can't ask you to forgive me, but... So it's kind of like that Imasara, if we put that into J2E, J2E is missing it too. It means I can't, at this point, after everything, I can't ask you to forgive me, but kind of like listing or like giving the idea that he's already like betrayed them multiple times. All right. None of them bring in the Imasara, but it's okay. I'll just say that's fine then. But that's a detail that would have been nice. I can't ask you to forgive me, but ... I'll say that's fine. Naming way. I cannot expect forgiveness, but... Alright, we'll say that's fine. Okay, Edge has an easy type change here, it looks like. Oh, it's probably just this line here. It becomes proper. Atarime da. Teme no sei de kyojin ga arawareta mo douzen da. It says, well, obviously, it's basically your fault that the giant appeared at all in the first place. Something like that. It's your damn fault that the giant appeared, pretty much. Oh, I was wrong. They didn't change that. They've been changing these little long vowel marks in easy type, but not on this occasion for some reason. Right. They changed dozenda to onajida. That's meaning the same thing, basically. Right. Okay, so Super NES, this becomes, yeah, who do you think reactivated the Giant of Babil? I mean, I kind of would assume that that was Golbez, not him. I'm going to mark off because there's a little bit of weirdness there. J2E, damn straight. That's really good for this. Atari Meida. Damn straight. Pretty good. It's your own damned fault that the giant showed up in the first place. That's pretty good. It's placing the blame on him, but not like he's not the one who reactivated it. This feels pretty good. It has the rudeness, it has the the offensiveness to it, and it's saying fault, and it doesn't fall into this trap that Super NES has done. Naming way. Forgiveness. It's your fault the giant woke up in the first place. Is this pull? Does naming way sometimes pull from J2E? All right. It's saying in Japanese, it's basically pretty much your fault. Like it might as well be your fault that the giant appeared. So the giant didn't even wake up, it showed up, which is pretty good. J2E has that. Giant didn't wake up. Mark that off. Okay, we'll continue. Kain looks down. He looks like a squished face plush. Rosa then steps in between Cecil and Kain and says, Yamete, yamete. And that means like, stop it. Quit it, stop. Super NES, Rosa says, no. J2E says, stop it. Naming way says, no. I like J2E best here. I'll give J2E this unusual,
Excellent.
but not worth marking stuff off. Right, Kain looks back normal and then says, Rosa, ... That means Rosa. That's in all versions. Alright. Next part. Rosa says, Golbez mo shouki ni modotta no de, jutsu ga toketa no yo. So, the spell broke because Golbez also returned to his senses. Kain no sei janai wa, it isn't Kain's fault. So it's saying Golbez returned to normal, so the spell is broken, and Kain's not to be blamed. The idea I had was that well, I guess we learned this before when Tella did Medio, but why wouldn't Zemus just control everyone? Like, if he can control the monsters and he can control his minions and do all that stuff, he can control Yang somehow. Why didn't Zemus just control everything? Why is it Golbez doing the controlling? It's weird. Maybe because he's half Lunarian too, I don't know. I'm getting too deep into the lore here. Alright. Super NES. Golbez was also under the control. That's weird English. It's not Kain's fault. J2E. It's not Kain's fault. Golbez was under Zemus's control. So we're kind of like changing like the focus here. Like we don't even bring Zemus into this text at all, but we are now. Zemus is saving his MP for bigger tasks. Alright, I gotta close this window real quick. Let me close this window. Alright, it's not Kain's fault. Golbez was under Zemus's control. I still don't like that. I still don't like it on J2. I'm gonna mark it off. Alright. Because it's not talking about how Golbez came to regain his mind, thus Kain also did. It's changing the order of operations. Naming way. It's not Kain's fault. Even Golbez was controlled by Zemus. Alright, same problem. Alright, next line. Then Kain, in response to this, says, Golbez mo? Golbez 2? So Golbez 2 in Super NES? This becomes Golbez what? In J2E? Very different delivery on there. It's pretty weird. Because they changed the previous line, it makes this flow differently, and I don't really know what to make of that. I don't like it. Naming way. Golbez 2? I'll say that's fine. I'm very on the edge of being overly picky for dumb little things. I gotta like pull myself back when I get into that zone. Rosa turns back to Kain. Golbez wa Seshiru no Onisan datta no. So she's now explaining the situation. It turns out that Golbez was Cecil's big brother all along. And then Cecil says ... to that. Super NES. Golbez was Cecil's brother. ... And Cecil said ... This was makes it seem like it's now past tense. Even though this is past tense up here, this tense here makes it sound like he was the brother now, but not anymore. Golbez might be dead. Cecil might be dead. I don't know. It's just a weird artifact of translation sometimes. I won't mark off. J2E. Golbez is Cecil's brother. ... And Cecil goes ... Uh-oh. J2E's box looking kind of big. And then naming way. Golbez is Cecil's brother ... This ... no is like it turns out that. Alright. What is the change in here? Oh, just a space and easy type? Boo. Boo. Okay. Next line was gonna break the text box, so let me get this. J2E is going into like a lore dump, it looks like. Alright, Rosa says in Japanese. Golbez wa Seshiru no Zemusu toyu tsuki no tami ga Golbez no tsuki no tami no chi o rio shite rashii no. Alright. So apparently a Lunarian named Zemus was using Golbez's Lunarian blood. That's how that turns out. So we have a Lunarian named Zemus was using Golbez's Lunarian blood, apparently. Super NES. A Lunarian called Zemus controlled Golbez from the moon. I would have liked the blood thing. Alright. J2E. Golbez and Cecil have blood of the Lunarians, an advanced race hibernating on the moon. One Lunarian, Zemus, wanted to enslave the Earth, so he used Golbez to gather the crystals. However, another Lunarian named Fusoya removed the spell on Golbez. Whoa. There's a lot going on in this. J2E has been this additional since the very start. So this is just like Rosa's just retelling everything here. This is a lot. Alright, so first this one Lunarian Zemus wanted to enslave the Earth. All that's not in here, so 1, 2, 3. However, another Lunarian named Fusoya removed the spell on Golbez. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then 1, 2, 3 for that first line. However, some of the stuff is translated in here. If you can it feels like in that Nickelodeon show, Double Dare, when you would have to pick a giant nose and you'd have to put your hand in some gunk to try to find a flag. That's what it feels like I'm doing right now. I have to put my hand in the gunk to find the actual substance. in here. So here's Blood of Lunarians. Used Golbez. Alright. And everything else was messy. I'll restore like 2 points. Alright. I didn't think I was gonna invoke Double Dare lore today. Alright. Just to double check, that was always in there, and they didn't think to remove that in their updated patch. Alright. Naming Way. Get over here, Naming Way. A Lunarian named Zemus used Golbez's Lunarian blood to control him. Oh my gosh. That deserves a victory. It actually did the best job here. I'm going to restore a point on Naming Way there, but I think I might lose a point in just a second. Alright. Rydia says, Sore de Golbez wa Zemusu o taoshi ni. Let me bring this up. Sore de Golbez wa Zemusu o taoshi ni Fusuya Totsuki ni mukatta no. And then Golbez headed to the moon with Fusoya to defeat Zemus. Super NES. So Golbez went to the moon with Fusoya to defeat Zemus. Ooh, I'm surprised that turned out as well as it did. I'll give you this. J2E. J2E, please be okay. And then Golbez went to the moon with Fusoya to defeat Zemus. Hooray! Naming Way. Golbez and Fusoya went to the moon to destroy Zemus. Alright, that's pretty good.
You win.
After that crazy J2E, that's like such a breath of fresh air. Alright. This Japanese text formatting could have been improved as well. It's pretty messy. I blame Shigeru Miyamoto. Kain says Golbez ga ... Sesiru no ani ... So Golbez is Cecil's big brother. Alright. Super NES, Golbez ... Cecil's brother ... So the big brother isn't in there. J2E. Golbez is ... Cecil's brother? I would like this to have said is, because Golbez is hard to say. Golbez is. Golbez is. But it's fine. Naming Way. So Golbez is ... Cecil's brother ... Yeah, there's a Rydia in there that was missing. I saw that earlier. I forgot to point it out. Rydia says, and then so they went to the moon. You can see Rydia say they went to the moon. Rydia went to the moon. But Rydia's line is missing here. So I'll mark off a Naming Way there. Good catch. Alright. Cecil looks down. Kain looks down. Then Kain looks up and says, ... Naraba oremo. Naraba oremo kono kari wa sono zemusu toyara ni kaisaneba narumai. Kind of a fancy like fighter or warrior way of saying stuff. So in that case, then I too must repay this favor to this Zemus guy. Then I must repay this Zemus guy too. This Toyara, I've pointed it out multiple times in the stream series. It usually falls out of the translation when we look at these. Right. So Toyara is kind of like this Zemus guy or whatever his name is. The Zemus guy, the Zemus or whatever. Right. Super NES. Then I must pay back my debts to Zemus. It's like 12 gil. And I put, We'll say that's fine. Could be better, but it's fine. Then I too must pay back my debts would be also better. J2E. ... I'm going to. I have a score I have to settle with this Zemus. So this Zemus is the Toyara. It doesn't show up in here, unfortunately. Toyara. Particle denoting uncertainty. Okay. It's good to see that they had that in there. But I don't like this I'm going to. Mark that off. Okay, naming way. Then I'm going to follow them to give Zemus what he deserves. The following them isn't technically in there. He's just saying that I'm also going to make him pay. I'll be picky and mark that one off. It's very picky. I don't like how picky I'm being lately. Okay, so Edge does a twirl and he has his back face to everyone now. And Rydia responds by looking up at him. Edge says, Mata ayatsurareta shinakeria indagana. Let's just hope you don't get manipulated yet again. Super NES. Hope he doesn't get hypnotized again. So telepathy can hypnotize you, I guess, according to Super NES. J2E. Like I trust you, what if you become evil again? Alright, I don't like how that turned out. He's kind of being like sarcastic or cynical or something, like, let's just hope it doesn't happen again. Naming way. Ha. And when he takes over your mind again, what then? Alright, I get the vibe. The vibes are better on that one. I think we're gonna get to that certain line, yeah. Kain then says ... Kain walks up to Edge. Edge is still facing away. Kain says ... Sono toki wa enryo naku ore o kiru ga ii. When that time comes, or if that happens, strike me down without hesitation. Or like, you may strike me down, you may kill me without hesitation. Should that happen. Alright, Super NES. If that happens again, go ahead and get rid of me. I wanted to say something stronger than just get rid of. I'll mark that off. J2E. If that happens, don't hold back. Kill me. Okay, that's good. I like it. The J2E used to also say, I've shamed the spirit of my father twice. I'm glad they removed that, because that was just fanfic. Naming way. If that happens, kill me as well. I don't like the delivery. I don't like kill me as well. This enryo naku is the important word. Enryo naku, without hesitation, without reservation. It's like, don't hold back. Just do it. Right. Edge turns around. He says, Nara, ore mo ikuze. In that case, I'll go too. Uh-oh, you guys, I just realized I'm starting to smell food. I don't know how far we're gonna get. Soitsu ni hitotachi abisenakia kiga sumane. Okay, I see what's going on. Hitotachi is not what I think. It's a stroke of a sword, not people. Right. In that case, I'll come too, says Edge. Notice that Edge uses this ore in katakana. And then if you've been paying attention, Kain uses it in hiragana. The difference between their personalities could be maybe roughly the difference between those two spellings. Like, one is kind of like honor and kind of a little bit disciplined. Meanwhile, Edge is kind of like brash and childish, and he doesn't think far and ahead. All right, just very like italics. Like he feels like all caps. Like he would type in all caps. Narada, Orimo Ikuze. In that case, I'll go too. I won't feel satisfied until I've used my sword on him too. I've done some sword stuff with him too. Need to give him a taste of my sword. Okay. Super NES. Then I'm coming. I feel like defeating Zemus with my blade. It's a little clunky. I would have liked that mole in there. I'm coming too. Okay. J2E. Oh, J2E. Oh, believe me, I will. Between you and Zemus, at least I'm guaranteed some action. Besides, I'm not just going to sit back and let Zemus play with the lives of people like that. Oh. Alright. J2E, were you always like this? This was added to the new patch. It used to say, then I'm going to, and that's correct. Alright, now that we've seen how it used to be, I'll just mark off one sentence, 2 sentences, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, naming way. Then I'll go too. I've got some blades with Zemus's name on them. Ooh, I really like that naming way. What do you got here? Okay, then Kain says edgy, ... That means edge. They're just doing the Japanese thing, the Japanese writing thing. And then Kain says edge in all versions. And then Cecil says iko ... And that means let's go. So he says let's go in all versions. Cecil then, so the whole party now turns to Cecil because he's now talking. Cecil says boku mo ... Tsuki ni iku. I too will go to the moon. There's that mo in there. I will go to the moon too. Super NES. I will go to the moon. J2E. I'm going to. This is funny. J2E's text drops the moon part, but Naming Way only has the moon part. We can put those two together and make a Megazord. Alright. I'm going to. So I'll put the moon in there, J2E. Okay, Naming Way just says to the moon, period. Okay, I'll mark that off. That's kind of funny. Alright. And then Rosa says Seshiru ... And she's doing the Japanese writing thing again. It's in Super NES, that's in J2E, and it's not in Naming Way. Rydia walks forward, looks at Cecil. Cecil looks around. Okay, we're at the weird part of the text now. Okay. He says, Cecil says, Rosa to Lidia wa nokorunda. Rosa and Rydia, you will stay behind. Bokura sanin dake de iku. We three alone will go. Kondo bakari wa ikite kaireru hosho wa nai. There is no guarantee this time that we will make it back alive. Exclamation. So he's had a very change of heart. There's just a space change in Easy Type. Boo, I always get so excited when I see an Easy Type change. Alright. Super NES. Rosa and Rydia will get off here. Stay here would have been better, but I'll say it's fine. The rest of us will go to the moon. It's too risky. There's no guarantee of safe return this time. It's too risky is kind of added in, but it looks like it kind of just is a fragment of of this line. Kondo bakari wa. I'll say it's fine. Okay. Anything else? Okay. J2E. Rosa and Rydia, you stay here. The three of us will go by ourselves. This time there's no guarantee that we'll come back alive. Technically, J2E doesn't say we will go to the moon. I mean, Super NES adds to the moon, but I don't care too much. All right, naming way. But Rosa Rydia, you get off here. Naming way has rewritten the scene, so I need to check some stuff. Oh no, I don't know if I'm going to finish the scene in time. Darn it. Okay. Cecil, what? It's too risky. There's no guarantee. Okay, we'll just move it down here. It's too risky. There's no guarantee we will come back alive. That too risky is pulling straight from Super NES, as we can see. All right, we'll say that's all fine though. All right, naming way didn't have the line about we three will stay. That's pretty abrupt. All right, next line. Rosa says Seshiru, and Rydia says Sonna. That means like you can't be serious, or like no way. All right. Super NES, Cecil. What? That's fine. J2E, Cecil, are you joking? Okay, that's fine. And then naming way, Cecil, what? I'll say that's fine. Cecil says, Sa, Wadose no orirunda. Now then, get off the magic ship. He's pretty forceful with it. In Super NES, that just becomes, come on, get off the big whale. Delivery could be better there. J2E, come on, get off the magical ship. And then naming way, go, get off the lunar whale. Something about this delivery isn't coming across in any of these. Now then, get off. Now then, disembark, or now then, get off the magic ship. Comes off strange, but okay. We'll just say those are fine. Yeah, it sounds like he's whining. Come on, get off the ship. So Rosa steps backwards. She's taken aback. Cecil looks sad. Rosa now just walks away and leaves. Edge steps forward and talks to Rydia. Sa, gaki wa iko de orusubanda. Now then, okay, it's like, okay, be a good little kid and hold down the fort, okay? Something like that. Like really talking down to her as a child. Super NES. Now, Rydia, you be a good girl and stay home. The dismissiveness of it is really good. Although Rydia isn't technically mentioned. Oh no, you guys. Alright, what's gonna happen is we're going to pause as we go into space. And then on Monday, we'll come back and we'll see the second half. Alright, now be a good girl and stay home. Okay, J2E, now Rydia, this is where you get off. Leave the bad guys to us. Just stay here and be a good little girl. Uh-oh. Used to say, now Rydia, this is a man's job. Used to be a lot more sexist. All right. This is where you get off. 1, 2, 3. Leave the bad guys to us. You just stay here and be a good little girl. That's pretty much how it is in Japanese. All right. Okay, naming way. You kids won't be much help anyway. That's a bad translation. That's a pretty bad translation. I'm going to mark off 2 on there. Rydia then says, Baka. It's like, you dummy. It's just a very simple phrase in Japanese, Baka. This got localized like crazy in Super NES to think it's sweet of you to say that, hot shot, with capital H. Mark off 2, 3 on there. Okay, J2E. You'd better be kidding, because I'd hate to be you if you weren't. Let me tell you what I do to some pig who talked to me like that. I'd end his reproductive years rather quickly. You can see J2E is going crazy here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. In naming way, who are you calling kids? 1, 2, 3. Everyone just kind of fell apart here. This was like one of the worst disasters of the translation. A lot just got destroyed. Everyone going crazy here. All right. Then Rydia twirls away and leaves the magic ship. Edge looks sad. Then he looks up, walks forward and says ... heh. All right. That's just like heh, you know, he's making a laugh sound or something. So long, Rydia, it said in Super NES. 1, 2, 3. J2E. Rydia ... That was kind of below the belt. I don't blame you for being a bitch to me. God, I'll miss you. This just sounds like a fanfic writer inserting themselves into the game. Does that come off that way to anyone else? It used to say, Rydia ... You were such a bitch to me. God, I'll miss you. All right, there's just a disaster happening here. 1, 2, 3. That was kind of below the belt. 1, 2, 3. I don't blame you for being a bitch to me. 1, 2, 3. God, I'll miss you. 1, 2, 3. And then naming way, so long, Rydia. 1, 2, 3. So we're just having... All right. We're just having panic attack over here. All right. Kain then says Seshiru ... And that's Cecil in all versions. I'm going to do a save state just in case stuff starts to happen. Fanfiction.net is calling for its text back. All right. Cecil looks at his pals, then says, Ikuzo, Kain, Edgy. Let's go, Kain, Edge. Then Super NES says, let's go, Kain, Edge. And then J2E says, let's go, Kain, Edge. And then Naming Way says, let's go, Kain, Edge. Like you can see, everyone is kind of doing this list differently, this Kain and Edge list. It's Kain, exclamation, Edge, exclamation here. Here, everything is divided by exclamations. And here we have everything is one sentence divided by commas. And this is a common problem I would sometimes have in my professional work too. Which one is the most natural? It seems weird for one person to be left out like this. It makes it seem like maybe one person is like out of the loop, one person is a third wheel. So J2E kind of goes around that by making them separate. And the Naming Way does that same, tries to avoid that same problem by making it all into one list. There's just weird little things like that happen sometimes in translation. All right, they're about to go. So my plan here is, as they're about to go, I'm going to pause it, do a save state, and then the stream will end because food is ready. Poe's been making food this whole time. I didn't even ask her to. She didn't even say she was going to. She just started making food. All right, but let's see what happens. They all do their little thing. They're standing around the flight crystal. And we're lifting off. We're going to land on the moon very soon. Boop. And that's all for today, everyone. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for joining fanfiction.net, where even Super NES and Naming Way got in on it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Oh, by the way, currently the score negative 1097 for Super NES, negative 1317 for J2E, negative 1100 for Naming Way. See you guys Monday.